Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho.
Here we go once again for a marriage night, amen. Don't you worry, it's gonna be alright. 'Cause I'm the judge and jury, and we'll be up all night. You better check for pose. You better check for pose. You better check for pose.
They there now. They are dead on that.
All the bad things love can bring, all in the blind spot that we don't see. Wipe the dirt.
It was earlier tonight. I don't.
13, she went to 13th birthday party. She was happy that we were all together.
She wanted to walk the rest of the way.
You will hurt the ones that love you, and they will hurt you right back. Sing along, sing along. Our love is a heart attack. You better check the pulse. You better check for pulse.
Okay, there we go. Hey guys, Merry Christmas, Christmas Eve, depending on where you are in the world. You're already having Christmas. Like I saw McJ popped in, and McJ is our friend from Australia, or maybe it's Christmas Eve and the magic is about to start when Santa drops down your chimney anytime soon. Here in New York, it is 10:24 p.m. on Christmas Eve, and I'm so glad that you guys are here with us tonight. Every year we do a Christmas Eve live stream just so we can celebrate together and so we can all have community and just talk about true crime, because really, guys, what is more festive than true crime? Seriously. So welcome to everybody. I'm so super glad that you guys are here. Thank you again for being here. Please do click the like. I'm going to actually put a little emphasis on that tonight. I really want you to click the like. So I'm going to beg that you click the like, whereas it's usually click the like, it helps, because I really do want people who are maybe feeling lonely tonight or just having a hard time this year and are part of this true crime community to know that we are all here so they can come be with us for a little while. And it just might cheer them up. And that's really super important. That's why I do this. So thank you so much. All right. So we're going to talk about a number of different things tonight, including, all the things you see on the thumbnail. We're going to start out talking about the Lauren Matthias stalker scandal shit show and some recent text messages and group messages between herself and some people in different Facebook groups and such have been released by totally verified, credible sources, non-directly to me, but two channels that I'm relying on are Hella Excited Utterance and J is for Justice on her channel Every Day with J. She's been covering this very well, and I have talked to the people connected to the sources, and they're definitely legitimate. That's for 100% sure. And I think as we read these messages, you're just also going to see yes, this makes complete sense, right? That's also going to tie back into some information that I exclusively shared with you guys about what is at the center of the Lauren Matthias stalker scandal shit show anyway. So we're going to get to all of that. We're also going to talk about some Watts case things. I kind of picked out some of the best of the why Chris Watts is on Santa's naughty list this year. I mean, I think that is rather obvious, but I know people, this is Watts the obsession, and some of you like Watts content. So I tried to bring you some good stuff. Also, there is news about JP Miller. I covered the death of Micah Miller, the tragic death of Micah Miller back in 2024 extensively on this channel, and you may or may not have heard that her former pastor husband, JP Miller, the dirtbag, has finally been indicted on some federal charges. So we are going to talk about that and hope that Micah's family is having a peaceful holiday season and that Micah is at peace in heaven. She was a very spiritual person, and the whole story is just so goddamn sad. And somebody who was always on my naughty list, and Santa's too, I just checked with him earlier to make sure he didn't make any mistakes and take her off, is Jenn Soto. He's like, yeah, I'm actually waiting for the bitch to have some charges dropped on her. I'm like, Santa, me too. So we'll touch on that case a little as well. So welcome to everybody who's here. I know I started a little bit late. I'm scrolling through and I see all you guys. I'm so super glad you're here. So I'm not going to say hi to everybody individually so we can kind of get into it. But again, thank you for being here. I'm so glad you're here. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much, moderators. You guys are amazing. And yeah, let's get started. So I'm going to, oh, hey, thanks so much, Jenna Banks 496. Thanks for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. That's very sweet of you to say. Love this YouTube channel. Thank you so much. So we're going to start off talking about Lauren Matthias's text. Now, listen, there were several different texts and or those group chat messages that have just been released through some various means, like I was just talking about, and also on Reddit. There's somebody on Reddit named Bright Breakfast, also known as Ben or Mr. Breakfast, who was actually served a cease and desist order from Lauren Matthias. It's also believed by a number of people, and I do believe this too, that she has been harassing him in some different ways anonymously. He is one of those sources. They used to be very close. I'm just going to bring a little clip from Every Day with Jay of J is for Justice. And the theme of everything we're going to be talking about tonight predominantly is going to have to do with things that she said about Lori Vallow Daybell's son, Colby Ryan, the sweetheart that he is. During our last stream, we played some of his words about this whole stalker scandal shit show, and he is just a sweet, honey, authentic person. I have so much admiration for him. And again, this connects with what I learned about what is the big deal at the center of her and John and Grayson wanting so desperately to protect these texts. And sadly, it does have to do with Colby. And I will not break that part of it on this channel without his permission, because he's a victim, and I actually do care very much about victims and him, not just pretensies like, you know, what Lauren Matthias does. So let's listen to this. Here's John and all his sexiness, his Christmas sexiness, his everyday sexiness. That man just makes me drool.
By the way, I called John this morning, who also is my husband. I called husband John this morning, and I said, so what did you think? And love your mug, by the way. I saw that. And he said, what? I said, what did you think? And he said, I'll tell you later. I have no idea what you think. And so here we are, real time.
Can you read my mug?
It could probably be worse, says your mom.
Probably be worse, right? Well, so
Could
I think
Lori's interview have probably been worse, though? I think that.
I just want to say, John, it could probably be better too. It could be that you're not married to her, and that probably would have to be better, I imagine.
So that's how I'm feeling this morning. But but I think this is a good place to start.
Right.
And Nikki said that she believed the victims were. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Nikki also said that she believed, quote, the victims were people nobody would care.
Whoa, I just have to say, Jay in her video here just switched, like, you know, scenes of them. And I looked away to take a sip of my coffee, and then I looked back up. So we have her looking here, and then how she's looking here. And I was just like, whoa, wait, what happened? Like, it was really confusing to me. The many, oftentimes, sadly, and I do really think this is very sad, effed up faces of Lauren Matthias. It's sad. It truly is. There's obviously a very deep-seated problem behind the many faces of this woman.
She believed the victims were. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Nikki also said that she believed, quote, the victims were people nobody would care about or look for.
So now we're going to talk about image versus reality. Because when someone says publicly, especially when they're branding themselves as emotionally enlightened and trauma informed, it matters. And it matters even more when it doesn't line up with what they're saying privately. What you're about to see is a text message where Lauren talks about needing to get away, describing her 4-year-old as a toddler who's needy and a husband who also requires attention. Meanwhile, publicly, we're getting a very different story. So I'm going to play clips, show some images, and let you see the contrast for yourself. Because this isn't about judging motherhood or marriage. It's about curated authenticity and how carefully crafted personas start to crack when you line them up with real behavior. Lauren says, yeah, blank wouldn't touch us with a 100-foot pole, laughing face. But blank is a possibility. I go out of town next Wednesday, blank, lake. And I'm kind of excited. While I'll be working full time, my evenings for 2 nights will be without the most needy toddler I've ever met and a husband who also wants attention. And I'm going to edit and work all night.
And I will say this, one of the worst moments I've ever had in 5 years, one of the moments that pissed me off to no end, unlike every other moment on any show I've ever been on, this person was on the show. And somebody, a viewer asked a question of me that was extremely emotional. And I was pondering the question. You could see I was getting emotional. I was going to give one of the best responses I've ever given. And you know what happened? Because this person couldn't handle the fact that I was getting emotional, they cut me off. They absolutely cut me off, refused to let me answer.
You know, this part always kills me because he's like, you know what happened when that person, saw that I was getting emotional? They cut me off. They cut me off because they couldn't handle that raw emotion, especially from a man. Like, John, why the fuck do you think that's why they cut you off? Maybe you had several people on panel and there was a delay in your streams talking to each other, because back in the day, I've got to say, your streaming equipment wasn't that great. You made about as many bleeps as I did, and that's kind of a lot, okay? Okay, I'm not saying I'm any better, but really, that could be the delay. Maybe, there's people speaking to each other and several of them in a conversation live, and they're all in different places. Sometimes you accidentally interrupt people. Or maybe she just thought what you were saying was fucking stupid and she was trying to save you from the embarrassment. Why do you make this assumption so strongly that she cut you off because she could not handle your vulnerability, your magnificent vulnerability? So weird. It's when he says things like this that I, especially from a professional perspective, tend to believe that he could not possibly be as qualified as a psychotherapist as he claims to be. I don't know, man. I don't know. We have to take a lot of classes, a lot. In undergrad school, I only have my master's degree. I haven't gotten a doctoral degree like he has, but you have to take classes literally to work through your own shit so it doesn't get in the way and cause you to act like this publicly when you're supposed to be in a respected field of helping others, because this is not respectable.
Because they couldn't handle that emotion in a male, especially in a male, that raw emotion that I was about to express. And I was so angry. If this person wonders why she's not on our channel, you might want to look at yourself. You might want to look at the fact that you cut me off in one of the most critical moments on one of our shows that I've ever had. You might want to look at the fact that people didn't like you. You might want to look at the fact that you spoke over Lauren and myself. You might want to look at the fact that you thought you owned this channel when you didn't. You might want to look at the fact that there was a groundswell of people who despised you.
Again, nobody's marriage is perfect and nobody's parenting looks like Instagram. But when you're selling yourself as emotionally evolved, trauma aware, and morally superior, the private comments matter. Because
they do. Okay, now I want to read this comment again, and then I want to make a point about it that Jay didn't make here. This is just from my perspective, why I think this comment is even like more like disgusting. I know it was a private conversation between people or persons. It wasn't, but and then I want to read part of John Matthias's declaration, because I really have great concern for their child. I really truly do. And instead of explaining that all to you now, let me just show you why. And some of you, I'm sure, already agree. Yeah, I wouldn't touch us with a 100-foot pole, laughing emoji, but blank is a possibility. I go out of town next weekend, and then she says where, and I'm kind of excited. While I'll be working full time, my evenings for 2 nights will be without the most needy toddler I've ever met. Her son was 4 at this time. And a husband who also wants attention. Damn him. And I'm going to edit and work all night. So, again, while I'll be working full time, my evenings for 2 nights will be without the most needy toddler I've ever met. Well, damn, from a parent's perspective, when you're parenting a young child and they do need a lot of attention, my God, their little life is growing from a little seed into a full-blown person on the way to adulthood where they'll be on their own. They need your guidance and they need your attention. And you know what? To every parent, their own little child is the most needy little child in the world, because it is that child that needs their attention. It's all a matter of perspective, as I'm sure most of you know. I know I'm probably preaching to the choir, but that is something that this woman does not seem to have. And also, it's my experience, just personally with myself, my friends, being a child, and also professionally as a behavioral therapist who's worked with families and little kids, mostly teens, all teens now, but I have worked with young children too. The little ones, especially, who are the neediest because they're not getting the love and attention and protection from their guardians that they so desperately need at that point in their life to feel safe and to be what they need to be, which is a little child just exploring the world around them. I don't know. And my very best friends, I guess sometimes if I was really stressed out when my kid was little, I might say something. I just never really spoke negatively about my son at all, because I just love him so much. But I know, again, not everyone's perfect, like Jay said, but I've always felt this way about her as a mother. When they talk about their children, they talk about their family. When I've seen them talk about that, I just hear what she says, and then I watch her facial expression. I don't see her as being a very nurturing, loving mother. I just don't. That is my opinion. I have nothing to base that off of other than everything that all of y'all already know. But just in my opinion, my gut feeling is, don't think so. Don't think so. Now, again, I'm going to bring, tying into what's going on at home in the Sun, I'm going to bring in Dr. John Matthias's declaration from the attempted, their attempt to get a permanent injunction order against Christina McArthur. And also, John wanted her to serve 5 years in prison and wear a location monitor for the horrible things she had done. These people, I can't even. Oh, God. All right. And at first, and still, the first time I talked about this case, I said right away, my number one concern is their child, and this is why. And I got holy backlash from it. But maybe I did get a little scared to talk about it again, because I haven't much, but I've been paying a lot of attention. But I'm going to say it again, because he deserves to be nothing but holly jolly with little stars and little happy Santa sleeves in his eyes this Christmas Eve as he waits for Santa and his presents. But I bet he's sitting at home right now worrying about his mom and his safety and her safety and his dad's safety. Here's the declaration. I, Dr. John Matthias, declare as follows. I am the husband of Laura Matthias and her many fucked up faces. I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist, or so I say, licensed in both Utah and Nevada. Okay, I'm not going to do my add-ins. I just want to read it for what it is. Sorry. Okay, I received an undergraduate degree from philosophy from Princeton University. I verified that. I'm sure others have as well. That is true. A master's degree in marriage and family counseling from the University of Southern California. A doctorate in counseling psychology from the University of Southern California. That was also verifiable. That's true. I am a partner with Lauren and Hidden Productions, where we co-host the Hidden True Crime podcast and YouTube channel. I also supervise doctoral students at the University of Las Vegas, Nevada, and have done so since 2007. But therein lies one of his lies. We're not going to talk about that today. I've evaluated over 500 criminals for risk of recidivism and mental health problems, psychopathology, for those of you dumbasses who don't know, I'm smart, related to criminality. I have been certified by the Utah Department of Corrections, UDOC, and the Utah Network on Juvenile Obtaining Safety to conduct forensic evaluations with both adult and juvenile sex offenders. I've been approved by the state of Nevada Parole and Probation to perform forensic evaluations and work with juvenile and adult offenders and therapy groups. God, geez, with the temper we just saw there, that's a little scary to me. Shoo! I've been certified by the federal courts as an expert in forensic work to perform forensic evaluations. I receive federal and state expert services contracts to perform forensic work and to conduct forensic evaluations. I think I just read that twice. I have also led and conducted. Oh, good, that did come in. Oh, wait, let me make it bigger. Conducted hundreds of therapy groups with hundreds of convicted felons since 1996. Wow, I was a junior in high school then. In addition to working with hundreds of child and adult victims of trauma and abuse. So over half his declaration, by the way, I just want to know, is him putting forth his resume and CV, because that really is his function, and everything having to do with he and Lauren in their marriage, in their Hidden Productions company, in their podcast. Like, his credentials, it seems to me, serve simply to bolster her efforts and her importance as perceived by others. Since April 2025, I've personally observed the ongoing harassment and stalking directed at my wife, Lauren, both as her spouse and a licensed psychologist. You probably just could have spoke with her as her spouse in this declaration, John. Seriously. I've witnessed the profound toll this harassment has taken on her mental health. She has suffered from heightened anxiety and depression, hopelessness and despair, and repeated panic attacks. She's internalized many of the cruel and false narratives directed at her, which has eroded her self-esteem, and she has exhibited trauma symptoms, including hypervigilance, excessive anxiety, and intrusive, unwanted thoughts. I have watched her withdraw socially and struggle and concentrate, with significant decline in her work, focus, and productivity. She has also experienced ongoing insomnia, reduced appetite and weight loss, feelings of inadequacy, fear, irritability, frequent migraine headaches, and persistent stress-related gastrointestinal problems. Well, thank you for letting us know she's had the shits, John. On more than one occasion, she has experienced, I can't say it on YouTube, thoughts overwhelmed by the relentless nature of the malicious false attacks directed towards her. Now, I do just have to say, as a professional in this field, if someone came to me and told me stories about themselves, or just told me they listed, these are the symptoms I'm having as a result of this situation going on in my life, and then they told me the situation for what it actually was, I would be very, very, very concerned about their mental health, stability, and just the level of volatility, within them personally. And I would definitely either go a very different direction in how I work with them, or would actually have to recommend them to somebody for me to elevate the situation, because I would see this as being very, very serious, because this would tell me very clearly that this person is not in touch with reality. And this list of horrible symptoms that John just explained to the court are very serious, and they are not things that people should have to live with every day, and to the degree that he is stating. But there is no way that they could possibly be caused in the mind of a well person from, what she says is going on. So this indicates a much deeper and much more serious problem. We don't know what it is. We need to find out to help this person. So why is that not clicking for John? I just don't get it. I know in personal relationships, sometimes you have a different perspective. It's harder to step away, but it's not that hard, really. after, in the heat of the moment when these bad things are happening, you get emotional too. But when you're not in a heightened emotional state and you reflect on this, with his training, he should figure that out and he should be helping her in a much different way. Moving on with this. The day I will never forget, July 7th, 2025, at approximately 5 o'clock in the morning, I woke up to Lauren rocking in bed, visibly distressed. She was holding her legs tightly against her chest in the fetal position as she rocked back and forth on the bed. And this is just, really emphasizes the alarm I would have as a therapist if this is what's happening because somebody made some kind of meanie TikToks about me. She was experiencing a severe panic attack and she told me that she did not want to live. John, seriously? Seriously? And you really believe that that's all because of Christina Mack? And you're not insisting that your wife get off of YouTube, take a break, and get some serious intensive therapy? That moment was devastating for me as her husband and deeply alarming as a clinician who understands the seriousness of such statements. Exactly, John. Never once in the 10 years I've known Lauren has she ever expressed or considered a thought. I was devastated and concerned by this extreme change in her behavior. I really felt I had to read the whole thing for context, but this is really what I want to focus on here. Our 8-year-old son has also been greatly affected by these events. He's developed an unusual sense of responsibility to protect his mother, telling her that she must promise to run to save her life if he tells her to and not ask questions. Let's think about this if this is true. Telling her that she must promise to run to save her life. If I tell you to, Mommy, I'm 8. And don't ask any questions, Mommy. Just run as fast and far as you can. Have you ever heard an 8-year-old give instructions of even remotely in the same universe as that to their parent or to anyone? What is going on with this in this kid's head every day, all day long? What is he hearing? What is he living with? This is so abnormal and alarming. This next part too. He mirrors his mother's anxiety and distress, and he has attempted to comfort and protect her, taking on responsibilities no young child should bear. His fear of strangers and imagined catastrophes has increased dramatically to the point of often refusing to leave the home. He's been withdrawn socially from friends, struggled to fall asleep at his normal bedtime, and significantly reduced his appetite. Since the stalking began, this parental role reversal, empathetic trauma, and emotional harm are all symptoms of what happened to children who become secondary victims when the parent is subject to ongoing stalking and harassment. What the fuck, John? Dude, what? I can't even begin, guys, to unpack all of the serious issues in that paragraph. We'd have to extend this live stream into next Christmas, and I don't want to spend the whole time talking about that, but just damn. I'm going to go back to the comments in a little bit. Please let me know in the comments. What do you think about that? The impact is extended to me as well. I've experienced heightened anxiety, depression, and feelings of hopelessness, insomnia, and elevated blood pressure as a result of this prolonged harassment and stalking of my wife and family. Now, that right there is a really irresponsible statement if he's going to be putting forth his whole resume and talking about his professional qualifications. He's giving a list of symptoms, and then he's making a causal connection to the symptoms and what he believes to be the cause, where there is no causal connection and there is no reason for him to believe that there would be. As a clinical and forensic psychologist, I suck. My professional work has included evaluating individuals for risk of recidivism, and for those of you who are stupid and don't know what that means, reoffense, and patterns of antisocial, harmful behavior. In my expert opinion, when an individual repeatedly violates stalking injunction, it demonstrates not only lack of respect for authority in the court and the rule of law, but also clear antisocial traits that significantly increase the risk of harmful behavior in the future. For this reason, I am especially concerned for the safety of my wife, my family, and myself. I'm not going to say what I was just going to say. I'm not going to say it. It's Christmas Eve. I'm not going to say it. These restraining order violations, combined with the escalating psychological harm we have endured, have led me to respectfully request that the court not only uphold, but strengthen the stalking injunction in this matter with a recommendation of referral for criminal charges. There is no indication based upon past and current behavior that the stalking harassment will cease with or without the stalking injunction. I declare under penalty of perjury and the state of Utah laws that the foregoing is true and correct, which might get him in a lot of trouble because there are some proven lies in there, but we're going to talk about that another day too. So, wow. That's just, I'm so concerned for their trouble. I really truly do hope. I just have to say this. I really do, because I mean, when I've been thinking about this before, it literally just, when I'm thinking about it, I'm talking about it, well, I'll realize I'm starting to get teary. I really deeply feel for this child. I really do. What was just described, just what we know, guys, is so not normal. It's so unhealthy. It's so cruel and unfair to this little boy. It's simply not okay. So I hope they were able to put aside their fucking insanity for at least tonight on Christmas Eve and give him what he needs to at least enjoy this magical time of year that all children who do celebrate this holiday should enjoy, in my opinion. Oh, God. Huh. Ruth Ann, I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. It just popped out to me. Well, in the body cam from Henderson, Lauren does say her husband told her to stay away until she figures out this mess, in so many words. Okay, like from the family. Oh, well, that's good then. I didn't catch that, so thank you. Yeah, Calissa, this is exactly what I was thinking too. And welcome, sweetie pie. Merry Christmas. If he is aware of these issues, then why in the world are Dr. John Lauren not getting their son help? Exactly. Welcome and Merry Christmas. Insta Justice says, wow, this chick. Yeah. Yep. Oh, okay. So I see the beginning part of Ruth Ann's 85's comment was, I was thinking that might be a lie to just get the temporary restraining order. At least I hope it is. He shouldn't know anything about this situation his mom created. I thought that too, but sadly, there have been other people that have, said things that corroborate what Dr. John said about the serious symptoms and indicators his son has been demonstrating of being severely distressed by whatever he is hearing and being exposed to. Yeah. Huh. Really great point. So let's see. I'm not sure how to say your name, and I'm so sorry about that. I really suck with that. I know it's other creators will read everyone's name with no problem, but I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to read your comment. Lauren even wrote in her book she got demoted from being an anchor because of her quote-unquote mistakes she made while taking Xanax. I wish I could find the outtakes of that. Oh, shit, me too. Listen, I've taken prescription Xanax before as was prescribed by a doctor. I had very bad postpartum depression. I took it shortly after, and then I stopped taking it. Then I started taking it again, just for other reasons, because it worked so well to alleviate my anxiety with postpartum. And I realized after the fact, when I wanted to get off of it and it was really hard, that I was on a relatively high dose. I've heard since then that people do take much higher doses, but it wasn't like a training wheels dose, that's for sure, And I mean, it didn't impact my job performance at all, other than I feel like maybe I was more effective because I wasn't a basket case of stress all the time. So for her, if what she's saying is true, that she got fired from her job for mistakes she made while on Xanax, she must have been using it inappropriately or illegally, which I know people do, and I know people who do, and I bet some of you might. I'm just saying, there's a possibility. And so I'm not judging you, but there's got to be more to that than what she states. You know what I'm saying? That's my point there. Oh, God. Oh, hey, cop wife, cop mom. So happy you're back, says this poor child. Oh, I know. Edward, hey, Edward, Merry Christmas, sweetheart. Thanks for all you do. So glad you're here. One of our wonderful moderators. He says, nope, can't say I've ever seen anything like that out of an 8-year-old. Oh, no way, man. No way. That's so, thank you for answering that, though, because I know I asked you guys. And Cuff You and Honey Bun. Two of our other wonderful moderators, Honey Bun said, do you have your elf outfit on, girl? I want to see it. Can we see your elf outfit? I feel like if John was true to his degree, he would tell his wife she's off her rocker. I wouldn't want him to be my psychologist. Well said, sweetie pie. I wouldn't either. His behavior has not been okay of somebody in the profession. Yeah, and Honey Bun says, you better whack that like button on this live stream. You know, and like I said earlier, I always appreciate that when you do, but I really want people to get the notification. So if they're feeling lonely tonight, they can come hang with us for a while. Because I just, you know, I don't want anyone in our community to feel like they're alone in a bad way. Okay. So, all right, let's move on to just some other of the message. Oh, hey, Shay girl. So glad to see you. Always hoping you're going to be here. It's wonderful to see you. Merry Christmas, honey. So we're going to move on to look at some of the other text messages and such that have recently been released from Laura and Matthias. And as I told you, I had to run to the gas station just before the live stream. I've had a wicked headache since like around 5 o'clock yesterday, and I can't get rid of it. And I so desperately want to just be relaxing, enjoying my time off and enjoying the festive season and days. But I had to go get some Advil. So I want to not have to talk this whole time. So I was going to just read out the text myself, but I'm going to let Hella from Excited Utterance from her channel, Hella Excited Utterance. I'm never sure what to call her exactly. And somebody who she frequently has as a guest, Deep Throat or Dolly, read some of these texts first. They do a lot of just talk and chitty chat between them on the channel. And I kind of want to just get to the point just because I'm, you know, I have other things to cover. So at some point I'll pick up and start reading them myself. So just bear with for a moment, or maybe you enjoy it. It's a great channel. And I haven't been able to link her or Jay in the description yet, but I'll do that right after. So anyway, let me bring that in. Here we go. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. I always feel so uncomfortable leaving just moments of silence when I have a live, but I notice other people do that and it's fine. And sometimes it's actually nice. And I'm sure, I know actually from the comments that there are people who will be watching this live stream who are like, shut the fuck up, Kelly, I'll take the silence. But for some reason, I just feel like I have to sing or tap dance for y'all. I don't know why. Oh, great. StreamYard, screw you, man. Just, never mind. I'm not going to complain about that stuff tonight. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Here we go.
How are you, mate? Good to see you. That's a cactus. I looked really closely at it, and yeah, it looks to me like it's a cactus. Yeah.
All right. What they're talking about actually is significant with a cactus a little bit. So what they're talking about is this. So in this group chat on Facebook, from a Facebook group, Lauren was commenting, and her avatar, or you know, the little symbol that'll show up when you know you're the one speaking in text conversation, was a cactus. But then as somebody took these screenshots, not while the conversation was going on, but after the fact, in their own history of conversations they had been involved in, her words are there, and it says Laura Matthias, but there is no cactus picture next to it. And the reason that is because after somebody either erases their own profile or their comments, other people will still see them, but they won't see your little icon cat, which was, for Lauren, it was a cactus. So you already can maybe tell by just that there's some shadiness going on.
Either that or like E. coli under a microscope, one of the two.
Could be something like that. Okay, so yeah, she used to love a bit of chitty chat on the social medias, and she was on Facebook a fair bit, like in the chats on Facebook, apparently. I don't know, I don't Facebook. Okay, and then around May of 2025, something changed. Something changed. I wonder what that could have been. May 2025. Well, actually, May 1st of 2025. And you know what comes before May, everybody? How's the little song go? Oh, yeah. You've got it already. You're so fast.
I know.
April. Yes, April comes before May. Right? April comes before May. Remember all that stuff that happened in April?
Yeah, when I met her.
Yeah, she met you. Maybe it was you.
Lucky her.
Maybe it was that. Remember, there was all that stuff that happened in May, like on April 9, she had that, terrible, scary altercation with Christina. And then that terrible, scary altercation with Janice. And, there was that terrible stuff that happened where she had to send out all those cease and desist.
Okay, so what she's talking about in April is while they were in Arizona for the, dude, oh my God, the guy with the brothers who was on trial, and then the trial got, yeah, my headache is affecting me. For a trial, let's just say a trial. Alec Baldwin. There we go. Ooh, wow. Brain's getting older for 1000 from Kelly. Wow. Okay. She was there at that trial, and at that time, others were there, including Janice, one of Christina's friends, and Christina herself. And that's when their friendship started to sour. And Christina approached her, asking her, what's going on, something super non-threatening. In fact, Christina recorded the conversation, and it was totally not threatening. And the way Lauren reacted was like psychotic. And then there's a short video of Janice just coming up to her and asking her, like, dude, what's your problem? What is going on? Because apparently Lauren was telling people that she is a swinger. She is an LDS in the LDS community. That wasn't cool for her or her husband, I guess, because she says she's not. And that's all that there was to it. And from there, people started getting all these cease and desist, like, they were getting Halloween candy or Christmas candy canes. And that's what she's talking about.
And there was that terrible moment when she had to put that thing up on Instagram, announcing that Grayson was her producer. So all that terrible stuff happened, right? And then on May 1 at 1:17 p.m., apparently she puts this message up in all of the Facebook groups that she's in and goes, you can say it.
I don't come on Messenger much anymore, and will
in the chats on Facebook. And there was that terrible stuff that happened where she had to send out all those cease and desists. And there was that terrible moment when she had to put that thing up on Instagram, announcing that Grayson was her producer. So all that terrible stuff happened, right? And then on May 1 at 1:17 p.m., apparently she puts this message up in all of the Facebook groups that she's in and goes, you can say it.
I don't come on Messenger much anymore, and will remove myself from any chats we no longer use, so I don't pocket send anything else.
Oh, pocket send, right? Apparently she's been pocket.
So this is interesting because I don't come on Messenger much anymore and will remove myself from any chats we no longer use, so I don't pocket send anything else. So clearly, this is right around when Lauren and John and Grayson started to try to build this fortress of protection around them, because they knew that some of the people I thought were loyal to them weren't really digging them anymore. Well, Lauren specifically, and some of the things that she disclosed to them were really, really, in the Christmas spirit, I say, fucked up. And so much so that in that Henderson police body cam video, the first thing John says when he gets on the phone when the police officer is there is, what is about to come out could ruin everything we've been working so hard to build in a minute, in an instant.
Sending stuff.
So my point is, I was pocket sending things. So some of the terrible things that she sent to this group chat, she's gonna say, oh, that was just a pocket send. My pocket wrote, I use and abuse relatives of victims for my own gain. I didn't really type that out and send it. My pocket did that. My pocket did that. And Christina is in charge of my pocket.
Lauren Matthias left the group.
For some reason,
she
does that a lot after 5 p.m. for some reason. I've heard. I'm just speculating. I don't know for sure.
She left, and not just one group. She left a few groups. She left the Facebook group chats that she was in because she doesn't use Messenger much anymore. So she's going to remove herself. So she doesn't pocket send anything else.
Pocket
I wonder
send.
what she's been pocket sending. Yeah.
Pocket
Yeah,
sand.
yeah, like the old butt dial, right?
Yeah.
Like it must have been my butt that called all those people bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this pocket send hasn't really been an issue for like 15 years.
Oh, like there's some cops over in Boston who pocket send things, but
Oh, that's a good point.
yeah.
Yeah, especially when they're intimate in the middle of the night.
Yeah, like Higgy and Brian have a full butt dial combo. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's true. Forgot.
This is great. I love this pocket send thing. This is great. We're
Outside
gonna
of Canton. Okay.
It was big in Canton.
Yeah.
All right. So and what about those text messages? Okay, so yesterday it was all a bit confusing because we kind of saw a bit of it and then we saw a bit of the end of it, but we didn't see the middle of it. So today we're going to see the middle of it and it'll make a bit more sense. So let's see the beginning of it. So this is this is Laura Matthias in a group chat. And you can read this again, please, Mr. Daly.
I haven't communicated with her since before the trial. And I personally think I've been quite respectful to Summer, and I've shared how heartbreaking it was to hear her testimony. But I learned this week she seems pretty pissed she didn't have full control over the Cox narrative. Well, I'll let you decide that. I texted her last week. Many people reached out about Colby, and I was concerned. I may have overstepped my bounds. Fair enough, I assume, not fist enough.
Fair enough. That's what that means.
Okay. Worse than MLS at texting. Colby isn't my responsibility, but I was genuinely worried. Fair enough again.
Okay, so this is important. As I told you before, there are a lot of messages that have come out. We could talk about them all day, all night, and much longer if we want to analyze them. But I was going to focus on the things that had to do with Colby because, like I was telling you in the video that I put out, something about the juicy scoop, whatever Annie Elise was talking about, some wild story. Go watch it. I won't explain it again. I know many of you have already watched it. A verified, completely credible source who knows both parties told me what it's really about. And the part that I haven't explained in detail does have to do with Colby. And again, I am not going to be the one to break it. I think people are getting very close. I don't feel comfortable doing that unless I had his permission. But all of these things that we are reading now are really dancing around it. But there's something even much worse, unfortunately. Let's see. Well, I still have a headache. I'm going to want to go do that peppermint thing. I'm going to let them keep talking and see if they kind of get to the point here. Now, I'm not saying they're doing a bad job. They had just gotten these messages, so they're trying to figure out what's what. It's a little confusing. And if it gets a little confusing to us, I'll pause it and I'll just read them like in the order that'll make the most sense. So just give me a moment.
An intense exchange ensued. And I'm going to share it.
Okay, so we saw that bit and it said, I'm going to share it. And then she has like a coffee cup or a teacup. I always thought that was coffee, but I suppose it's tea, right? And then she shares a screenshot of Summer Cox / Summer Schiffler, however you want to term it. So Summer Cox, that's her name on there, right? And Summer, she's reached out to Summer and she said,
Okay. Hi, Summer. This is Lauren Matthias. This is private, personal text. Nothing to do with our podcast or the media. I have received many private messages about from people worried and concerned about Colby. If my husband John could be a friend for him, please let him know he can reach out to John in absolute privacy. And either way, please let him know many care about him.
Lauren. And yes, so She is setting up that she's about to share private text with Summer Cox. Yes? And Isabel says, we can't forget Summer's role in supporting and praising Laurie. Okay, so let's keep going. Now we're going to fill in the blanks. Like my little guy filling in the blanks. And don't be scared, they're just emojis. Okay, so still August 2023. Laura Matthias in group chat. So there's a little bit more underneath there.
So this is Summer's response.
This is Summer's response.
I'm not sure.
All right, hold it. All right, this is I've got it. I can't. This is they're just figuring it out here. I got to do this. I got to suck up the headache and do it myself, guys. I'm going to do it because I love you. All right. So what we're looking at right now is the I wish I could make it bigger, but I can't this way, and I didn't make a graphic of it. So anyway, we're looking at the bigger text in the lower right hand corner. Okay. Few important things. Okay. The date here. This is August 16th, 2023 at 6:56 p.m. And what I'm about to tell you is what I've figured out and put together from this, along with some other research I've done, some things that I know. I don't know if this is the exact conclusion they came to. I didn't actually make it all the way to the end of this. Not because I don't like them, because I had to just, do something else. But here's what I can tell you. Let me read this text first. Hi, Summer. And again, Summer is Colby Ryan's aunt. This is Laura Matthias. This is a private, personal text message. Nothing to do with our podcast or the media. That right there, God, there's just so much to unpack. This is a private, personal text message. Nothing to do with Hidden True Crime or the media. Like what she's saying is, I'm just reaching out personally because I'm such a good person and I'm so empathic and I have deep concern for Colby and John, and I just want to help him. It's not that there's any gain for myself or my podcast or the $2 million we're going to make next year. It's just so, it's things like this where knowing what we know now, when you read them, you're like, my God, she is calculating. Like everything she says, if it's not like mental vomit that's going to get her in trouble, it's either, let me say it like this, it's either mental vomit that's going to get her in trouble. That's pretty shocking to a lot of people when you read it now, because it is so inconsistent with the person who we have known her to be, or many people have known her to be, as the host of her podcast. Because she just be faking it when she's in that role, right? So if it's not the mental vomit, which is pretty shocking, which are her real thoughts, everything is so carefully put together and included specifically for the purpose of her getting the ultimate return out of whatever she is doing from the person who she's contacting. Another way we could say that is she's using people. Okay. All right. I have received many private messages from people worried and concerned about Colby. If my husband John could friend him, please let me know. And he can reach out to John in absolute privacy. And either way, please let him know many care about him. Fucked up. All right. Let's see. Slow there. Whoops, sorry. Whoopee whoopee. All right. Okay. Now Summer, the aunt of Colby, says, I'm not sure why you would think I would vouch for you with Colby when you have shown me that you are not a safe or trustworthy person. There is medical documentation that my sister Stacey never had an eating disorder. I shared so much with you. Lauren on her podcast went off and said that this woman's sister had an eating disorder. And of course, she's got clinical Dr. John over there to back up everything she says. And now, especially in retrospect, I actually feel a little foolish and almost like irresponsible that I didn't realize. I started to realize how over the top and kind of off base some of his analysis were right around the Delphi time for sure, because that was so fucked up and off base. but he's really been abusing his credentials. It's really, he needs to be sanctioned, or there needs to be consequence for it. I'll say that. There should be consequence for it. And I'm also certain of that. So she said that, and then oh, this is like so small for me. Okay, I'm gonna have to let them talk a little because I can't even see it. It's too small.
And don't be scared. They're just emojis. Okay, so I'll be sorry. I'm not sure why that text is cut off, and Lauren keeps talking, and she just keeps talking. See how there's nobody else talking. It's just her talking. And so I've put over here a little bubble so you can see that this is coming out, and we're looking out into the group chat. Now, notice how her avatar has changed to a nothing. It used to be a cactus, right? It's changed to a nothing, but it's still over here on the left. Now, Mr. Breakfast has explained to me why that is. It's because when someone leaves a group chat and people take screenshots later.
And this is the same thing I just explained to you. And now I probably learned it on here because I didn't know that before. But yeah, so that's what I heard from Excited Utterance, who learned that from Mr. Breakfast, who creates quite a mighty fine model type FOIA request, I must say. He gets a lot of information because his FOIA requests are tight. He leaves no wiggle room for the receiving party to not give you the information if legally possible. It's pretty spectacular.
That can happen. Yeah, so I know I'm going to get sleuths later going, oh, but that's not Lauren. This must be fake, or it's not real, or why is it? Yes. Why was she green before and now she's not? That's why. Screenshot taken. It's
AI.
Yeah. No, it's not AI. Screenshot taken later. Okay, yes. So I put that over here. Lauren is on the left here, former cactus.
Yes.
Okay, so do you want to just read this piece here, please?
On the right.
Her response is coming.
Her response coming, but I do personally regret involving John in that initial text. So please don't share that anywhere. I can do the sharing for you. John didn't ask to be involved. That was all me.
And then look at this pile of screenshots that she then dumps into this group text message chat. Look at it. Look at this pile.
Vomited, maybe.
This pile of chats, right? This is from a private discussion between herself and Summer. She then dumps it into a group Facebook chat. This is the woman.
Okay, so if you didn't get that there, what she's saying is this page that we're looking at right here. And again, this information, these leaked, things that she said in private messages and then also in group chats are coming from a couple different sources to a few different sources. That's why it does make it pretty hard to put together. As all of it's been coming out, I've kind of been filing it, and then I have a little I have another file where I'm kind of putting it in order and connecting everything so we can have the deepest understanding given the information that we have. So she was having that conversation with Colby Ryan's aunt, Summer Cox, and then she went and screenshot her communications with Summer Cox, those private between two party communications. And she took those screenshots of those private messages between her and Summer Cox, took them over to a group chat from a Facebook group that she was in. She pasted the screenshots of those private communications between her and Summer to share with the whole group. And John wants Christina Mack to be in prison for 5 years and wear a GPS monitor because he says, even though there's no proof, that she shared private messages between herself and Lauren. This is just total fucking insanity. I can't even. It's just like so. Woo!
To call the cops and said, someone is going to share all my private messages. That's illegal. That's against the law. Right? Right? Doesn't she know that's illegal? What the heck? Yes. Okay. And here they are. Here they are.
Wow.
Now, because it's text messages, in the black is Summer, and she's going to talk for quite a while, and then we're going to have Lauren in blue later. Yeah. So again, this is far more organized. I've had it for a couple of hours, and I've been able to put names next to it and put colors on it. So I hope this is a bit better. So I'm going to read Summer. Yes, Awen. So it's okay when Lauren shares private messages.
Yes.
She's manipulative. Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
of course.
Lauren's the best.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah.
Lauren is babe.
Exactly. Yes. All right. So Summer says, I'm not sure why you would think I would vouch for you with Colby when you have shown me that you are not a safe or trustworthy person. I'm just going to change views. All right, that's better. So everyone can see a bit better.
Well, I don't know where she'd get that about Lauren.
No. There is medical documentation that my sister Stacy never had an eating disorder. I shared so much with you in good faith.
I'm going to read this. Okay. I shared so much with you in good faith, and you have continued to push that narrative because of Steve Cope's divorce filings. Really irrelevant to what we need to talk about here. And to suggest that I am either trying to spare my family's image, which is beyond laughable at this point, when my brother and sister are proven murderers, what damage is an eating disorder going to do? Or B, I was too close to the situation or too novice to notice. I was up close and personal with a front row seat for all of it. And I can tell you that Stacy did not have a distorted view of her body and weight, and absolutely did not have an eating disorder. She has some anxiety and depression, which anyone with a severe long-term illness would have. Steve Cope did not get what he to be continued. Let me get to the next page. He's something or other, and I'm not sure why you. This is a different one. So they didn't finish that message. Okay. Now, let me just say that I'm going to bring something different into the stream now. I'm going to jump over somewhere else. We're going to continue this a little bit, but in a different way. Just because, like I said, they were just figuring things out. We're having a lot of conversation between themselves. And that's just so we can get to some other stuff too. Oh, there's my StreamYard tab. Dang, girl. Thank you for bearing with me, y'all. Now, the reason I think that, that became a hot button for Summer, rightfully so. You're somebody saying something inaccurate, untrue, false about a loved one that reflects poorly on them in the minds of people who are listening for the most part, or at least differently on them than who they are. I'm sure Sister Stacy wasn't stoked about that. Why is this woman saying I have an eating disorder? I don't. Lauren Matthias is really fixated in a way I've noticed while going back and watching some of their episodes, and also seeing some episodes that other people have put out with Lori Vallow's figure and fitness and thinness. And she has a really cute petite figure. She's in very good shape. She was a very good looking, attractive woman. She's very pretty. She had a really good body. And Lauren talks about this a lot, which is why I think she brought in, Summer's sister, said, has having an eating disorder as a topic, because why the fuck does it matter anyway? Like, why'd you even go there? Because I think Lauren is fixated on that issue of a person's body's figure and, eating and eating disorders. And now this is just me fully speculating. And I think the reason might be based on how we have seen her behave recently and what we can understand about her personality profile based on what we know to be true, and the difference between the person that we see as a host of her podcast and what we know now and all these other things, and her behaving so erratically in the body cam videos and everything else. Things we can empirically observe with our own two eyes, not just things that other people are saying that we're not sure about. she's clearly very insecure. Well, let's combine that with the whole, like, look at her face issue, you know. She clearly herself is dysmorphic in her view of herself, because anybody who was not dysmorphic in the way they saw themselves would simply not do that to their face. They just wouldn't. It's it's an extreme amount of cosmetic manipulation to your face. You know, I mean, it's fucking obvious, right? Seriously, somebody tell me I'm wrong on that. You can't. And it's not a far leap to think that she does or has had a intense history of disordered eating, because with everything we know right now, if that wasn't true, I'd be surprised. So this is why am I even telling you about this and explaining this and telling you what my theory is? It isn't just one more example of how she protects and sprays her own shit all over everyone around her, causing chaos, disruption, uncomfortability, and damage to, well, like, you know, basically everyone around her. And that to me really is sad. I'm not, you know, that's sad, because when people do that, when they behave in that way, there is something very something very toxic inside of them that is. And listen, if there's something that toxic that lives inside of you, basically it seems unchecked, you're suffering. You're a person who is suffering every day being you. And that really is sad to me, regardless of everything that she's been doing that's despicable, disgraceful, disgusting, that's like, you know, we're kind of, you know, appalled by. It's very sad to me that toxicity lives within her, that her husband, for God's sake, has a PhD in psychotherapy, that she should have ready access to resources and support around her. And either A, that support and resources aren't really what they seem, or B, she is so messed up that she is unable to accept the support from those resources. All of those scenarios are very sad. We don't want anybody to be suffering that much on a daily basis. I just do need to say that. This is a crazy situation. So I'm going to bring in a stream from Every Day with Jay. Jay is for Justice. And it's going to pick up in the text sense of where Hella just left off, but she's also, and I really like how Jay does this. This is kind of what I try to do with information I present to you. She's weaving in some information that just came out, like certain text messages, with some you know, other content that we can look at to see why it's so important. But I'm going to stop talking and just let her talk for a minute, because she does it best herself.
That they're doing. He said that they put Colby and him like in a room, like to film, and told them just to talk to one another. And Colby said how like awkward or whatever it was.
And now what she's talking about right now is when Colby spoke with his mother, and I don't remember exactly when it was, and the last couple of years, with the idea of trying to, well, he could, because he's trying to, you know, reconcile what, you know, that his mother's this person now, and he needs to do this for himself. Also, you know, information, of course, is wanted about what really happened in the crimes. So alone in a room by themselves was Colby and Lori Vallow. That's what I'm saying.
And then they ended up not using any of that footage.
And that was for the Netflix documentary, I think. Some documentary. I think it was Netflix.
Lindsay says, and I'm sorry, but that's where I think Lauren's text to Summer about Colby is really relevant, because she, Lauren, offers up John as a listening ear and friend, then says, don't tell John. She inserted him. Exactly. Walella.
Okay, so this is all getting to the point of we see how, Lauren presented that she and in True Crime were so close with Colby Ryan. He was one of her victims. She really took ownership of him. She really used his name all over the place to increase her popularity among viewers as being a trusted source in regards to information about the Lori Vallow Daybell trials and also the Chad Daybell trial. And there are multiple trials for each of them, right? So this is going to give her a lot of mileage. And don't think for a minute, I don't think she thought that out very carefully when she started pursuing Colby to become, like a freaking, like a wolf to an prey animal. I don't know, like one of my cute little bunnies. Yeah. Colby's like a cute little bunny. Hop up. I don't know, but I think this is certainly all set up. So we see how their relationship began, and it wasn't in any natural way. It was by Lauren pursuing Colby under the guise of, we care about you. So many people care about you. Our hidden gems care about you too. And because we care about you so much, I want to offer up my loving husband, who is a PhD, credential, bullshit, to help you because he can help you better than anyone. And also, I don't like spending time with him. And can you blame me? I mean, look at him. And he's got quite the weird temper on him too, doesn't he? So, I want to give you as a gift, because me and the Hidden Gems care about you so much, my husband, John, because he is the best of the best and he is going to help you. And that's how Colby got wrangled in to the Laura Matthias shit show. Pretty different than how we were led to believe as viewers. If you were a viewer, if you know anything about that.
Well, la la. Welcome to Cooterville. Thank you for becoming a member today.
She says, welcome to Cooterville. Everybody close your leg. Everybody coming in.
Jay calls membership to this channel Cooterville, and there's a story behind it. Those of you who know Bullhorn Betty was really abusive to Jay at some point, and she called her a slut in a number of different ways, like really disgusting, freaking weird ways. And this Cooterville resulted is something funny, to just kind of try to laugh out of a situation that was probably really like shocking and maybe scary and definitely like just weird for poor Jay. So that's why it's called Cooterville. I know some people are like, did she say cooter? What? So they say, welcome to Cooterville. Everyone coming in, close your legs.
Close your legs.
Close your legs.
Hey, Hillbilly Belinda. Good to see you. Thank you. So they're talking about the show they were in, the Netflix documentary.
Right. We spoke for like an hour. Not 3 minutes.
2 hours, wasn't it?
we spoke for a while. Not a minute of that conversation made it in, but
Right.
that's the way it goes, I guess, with shows.
Me too, Robat.
I guess so.
That's why we're here. That's why we have a live conversation.
He's like, that's how it goes in shows. And Colby's like, I guess so. Robat, me too. I'm with you. Hey, Snaz. Hey, Crimeology. Good to see you. Have Merry Christmas.
Shows.
That's how it goes with shows. So who wants to sit there and have a fake conversation with this? And it's Christmas, Jay. Don't say it. With this guy for a fucking show. Chuck Anderson's granddaughter just gifted a cootership, and it looks like Saving Our Republic was the recipient. Welcome in, Saving Our Republic, to Cooterville, and Merry Christmas.
And when Santa squeezes his fat white ass down that chimney tonight, he's gonna find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house.
Damn straight.
That's the way it goes, I guess, with shows.
I guess so.
That's why we're here. That's why we have a live conversation, so you guys can know you're not. There's no behind the scenes anyone's missing here.
Right.
No inside scoop. No one's missing any behind the scenes stuff. And let me go back. I want to address this. Not a fan of Colby at all. 9mm, you know I respect your ass. Not a fan of Colby at all. Is his
Colby was accused of some sexual assault situations. That's why the person's saying not a fan of Colby. We do not judge him on this channel. I prohibit that. He's been through enough. So let's see. Bite my bits. Love it. Welcome. This is interesting too. And then I have another comment I need to read. You know what's weird? I see a thing showing John lived at Henderson Address until January of 25, so approximately a year ago. And Lauren lived there until November 25. So did they both move somewhere else? But so you're saying that John moved out of their home residence at some point? Is that what you're saying? That is interesting. Let's see. So Elizabeth T 458. I am dyslexic. That just showed. Welcome. How are you doing? Elizabeth says, I have the timeline all messed up then because I thought they had already met on the Netflix special. Colby and HTC both did on the case Sins of a Mother. Okay, so what Lauren and John and Colby are talking about right now in the live stream from Hinge True Crime that Jay excerpt and is going to be talking about in a minute. We're going to see him say a few things. During that discussion, follow me, y'all. I feel like I need to make a visual graphic here. They're talking about the taping and production of the Netflix Sins of the Mother. So before Sins of the Mother, not too long before Sins of the Mother, Lauren pursued Colby under the guise of John wants to help you. Does that make sense? I think you may have led that. I believe that because in their presentation of their relationship with Colby on Hinge True Crime, that's what people are led to believe, because it probably was not going to be as beneficial to them to say, we met Colby because I pursued him doggedly under the guise of wanting to help him and giving him John.
history says all I need to know about him. Fair enough. Fair. But two things can be correct at the same time. You can not like him because of his actions. And you can also acknowledge the fact that he was fucking exploited by these people. Because what they did to him has nothing to do with this over here that was going on in his personal life. So two things can be true at the same time. I respect your opinion, but I think that you can still get a good message out of this, putting that aside, if you catch my drift.
I think her purpose was to get in there. She had 30 minutes, which is no time whatsoever.
I'm going to share something that I noticed about you that I've never shared. So I've been following this case since your brother and sister were missing, before we had found them. And
before we had found them, you didn't find them, Lauren.
Calissa asked, when was this interview? Good question. I wrote that down somewhere in my notes here, but I can't find them right now. But I just have to look into that, and I'll come back and let you know.
Here's that. And this was 8 months ago, by the way.
Oh, my God. I love my girl, Jay. It was 8 months ago, okay? This was 8 months ago, this interview. Yeah, that was great. Good timing.
Before we found them. Good afternoon, Roseanne.
Before we had found them. And I remember actually, so I was following all of the media, and it was December 2019. I don't remember when you did this YouTube live. I think it was probably the end of December 2019. But you got on.
Sorry, just really quick. Yeah, in December of 2019, and they were keeping track of Colby very carefully because in their community posts, among the YouTube true crime community, specifically, they were the resource that broke the news that Lori Vallow Daybell's son, Colby, was charged with 2 counts of sexual assault. Interesting, huh?
Do you remember this live?
Oh, we got a cooter chat.
Merry Christmas, Christmas tree.
Thank you, Crimology, for your Cooter Chat. Merry Christmas to you too, babe.
And when Santa squeezes his fat white ass down that chimney tonight, he's gonna find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house.
To plead with your mother. You said, I don't know where you are,
Right.
Mom. Okay, so
Right. Does she think he forgot? Does she think he forgot when he had to fire up Alive to beg and plead his mother, of all people, to say, where are the kids, man? Just, let us know they're okay.
with your mother. You said, I don't know where you are,
Right.
Mom. Okay, so I recognize something from back then, and I haven't seen it since then. But you were trying to ask your mother to tell you where the kids were while also apologizing to her. I could tell you walked on eggshells with her. Ask a little bit more about how Lori.
Now, this is weird. Okay. She always wants to ask more and more about Lori. But listen what she asks him here.
Fed you guys, and maybe this is actually a question for John, because
now, why would this be a question for John? John didn't know Lori. John wasn't around when they were little. I know, me too, Lindsay.
Lori fed you guys, and maybe this is actually a question for John, because you explained it really well, Colby. And you said she's the one feeding us, yet she was so in shape and she was so fit. And we've heard some from friends that she had a body dysmorphia almost. She was always worried about looking a certain way.
I mean, we know that Lori was about appearances. Like but this seems like a little projection. Hillbilly Belinda, I think she idolizes Lori. Me fucking too. And
okay, so just really quick, if I said this wrong, I just want to clear it up. So Kylie Cosmo, who knows this case pretty well, I'm sure Elizabeth, who commented earlier, does too. I'm sure you both do. Said Laura John met Colby on the set of Sins of Our Mother. Okay, so maybe he had met her and then Lauren pursued him under the guise of John can help. But I'm not sure which it is. I don't know if that really matters so much. But the point is, whenever John and Colby did meet, if it was on the set, it was casual at first, and then Lauren pursued Colby, wanting to cultivate a close relationship with Colby. So there. And Merry Christmas, Kylie. Welcome. And everybody else, welcome everybody, and Merry Christmas. I'm so glad you guys are here.
And you know what, Belinda? It's rumored that she was the one writing to Chad Daybell, or Lori Daybell. That it's her and Grayson. And what is she talking about? You fed us? Like what? Wait, Parawoman live or premiere? What's up, Parawoman? Merry Christmas to you.
She had a body dysmorphia almost. She was always worried about looking a certain way.
I found this question very intrusive and just quite frankly rude. How does she expect him to answer a question like that?
She was Mrs. Texas.
Right.
Oh, there's been some leakage in some of the.
Okay, so what they're talking about right here goes to a point that I just made earlier when Lauren was messaging with Colby's Aunt Summer, and Colby's Aunt Summer was upset with Lauren. Like, how do you even think I could vouch for you, Colby, after what an asshole you've been, essentially? I don't trust you. And what you did with my sister, saying she's anorexic and that's freaking twisted. She's totally not. And I suggested that perhaps Lauren is fixated on body image, perhaps because she is fixated on her own body and looks, which seems very obvious at this point. And she also fixates, strangely, super weirdly, on Lori Daybell's very nice figure. At least, I don't know what her figure's like now under all that orange, but she definitely did have a really good body at some one point. So here's an example.
Videos where she'd been like, oh, Lori's not going to do that with her appeal or whatever. I can't remember the exact wording, but she was like speaking for her. Like, oh no, she's not going to do that. Oh no, Chad's not going to do that. Or he's not going to say that.
And I've heard that from other people too, just so you know that.
Now let's get into the text messages. We are going to April 17th of 2021. When I say this was a long-term manipulation.
Okay, so Elizabeth and Kylie. Oh God. This message right here is from April 17th, 2021. So it appears that yes, the recording of Sins of the Mother was before the 2023 predatory messages to Colby's aunt, trying to create a closer relationship with John and Colby to wrangle him in. So that perhaps that initial timeline you said you thought was correct, Elizabeth, is indeed. And thank you, Kylie. And although I am brilliant like Lauren Matthias, I still have a lot to learn. So feel free to bring information and correct me in the very rare case that I'm wrong anytime you want. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
I mean it. This says, Lauren Matthias, please do send a list. John met and talked to Colby for 3 hours. I've never met him. You hear the jaws in the background? This makes me sick. It's like shark circling their prey. That's what she's doing. John, did you text Colby today? Did you text Colby today? Did you text Colby today? This says, Lauren Matthias, please do send a list. John met and talked to Colby for 3 hours. I've never met him. John has a soft spot for him, and I do think we could get an interview, but it's up to John to get that, and John isn't as assertive as me. He doesn't reach out and ask. Different approaches between a therapist and journalist. Even yesterday, I texted John and said, friendly reminder, text Colby. Did he? No. Damn him. Fast forward to 2023, and there is a text message that was leaked between Lauren Matthias and Summer Shiflett, the sister of Lori Daybell. In this text message, Lauren says, I haven't reached out to Colby, and I do not expect you to vouch for me. My reaching out to you about Colby is what people do when they care, when they see or feel things that may be off, in order to prevent a tragedy. There is nothing in it for me.
And then maybe I'll end with something a little lighter, which is in the last conversation I had with Colby, or maybe it was the conversation. It was a couple of conversations before when I think Colby and I were just on together, and you were talking, Colby, about that idea that your entire family obviously was murdered.
Sorry.
He's going to go to something lighter. He's going to mention Colby being alone and in his entire family being murdered. Okay, we get it. I would appreciate if you guys didn't give them views and wait for someone to review it, because you know I will. But this is supposed to be something lighter that he's bringing up. Now, your whole family's murdered. She's over here fucking horsing around. She absolutely pressured John to reach out. What is she saying? Right. Exactly.
Entire family obviously was murdered.
Sorry, you keep talking. Sorry.
And you were alone. Were you trying to hold up? And you were alone. Were you trying to hold up?
I was just trying to answer the question on the screen. Keep going.
Obviously was murdered.
Sorry, you keep talking. Sorry.
And you were alone. Were you trying to hold up?
I was just trying to answer the question on the screen. Keep going.
And somebody said, wouldn't it be great if Dr. John could adopt Colby, right? And yes. Wouldn't it be great if Dr. John could adopt Colby? Wouldn't it be great if Dr. John could adopt Colby?
See her sippy cup? It says UNLV on it. Hey, Pines. That's the UNLV mug.
Right. And yes. Wouldn't it be great if Dr. John could adopt Colby?
His face says it all, just like.
Now, we listened to just very select parts of his very recent live stream where he addressed, this whole scandalous issue in part and some other things too, but it really was precipitated by what's been going on most recently with the Lauren Matthias stalker scandal shit show and true crime. And, at 5 or 6 minutes into it, he said, something that he mentioned 2 specific things that really, really upset. Well, no, okay, I'm going to say 4. One of them, the first one he mentioned was when John called him his adoptive son during the live stream. That was not okay, he said. How dare he? My father was murdered and my mother was behind him being gone. That wasn't okay. How fucked up was that? So we just saw it happen right here. And now we know what he thinks about it for sure.
Kay Woodcock at the memorial when she looked over like, what the fuck?
Right. And I saw it and I'm like, you know what? That would be so cool. Like he would be such a great son, right? Like I wish I had the chance to adopt Colby.
Oh.
So I saw that comment, Colby, and I wanted to put it out there. It was kind of a touching comment, and I never.
Who said that? Do we even know who said that?
Addressed it. I wanted to address it then, but we were like really deep into something.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say that in many ways, I feel like you are kind of my adopted son, and I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
And I love the journey you're on, and thank you.
Why is he adjust?
So not only does John say that once, being super fucking weird and uncomfortable, and Colby obviously felt that all and more, he says it twice. John, honey, John. I don't care what you are, PhD and blah, 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 blah. You need to go back to school and get schooled, honey, because you just ain't right.
Sing his cup. What does that mean in body language?
But we were like.
He says it twice. Thank you, blessings, for being.
It means that he's feeling anxious, nervous about whatever whatever just came out of his mouth. So he's trying to take away from what he just said by doing something else, because he's like, either consciously or subconsciously, he feels not comfortable with it. To answer Jay, who's not even here. There you go, Jay. Thanks for the chat. Make sure to hit the like.
Being here. Hey, Giselle. Good to see you.
Really deep into something.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say that in many ways, I feel like you are kind of my adopted son, and I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
And I love the journey you're on, and thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
That means a lot to me. Seriously.
Yeah. We care about you. We'll be following your journey. And we do hope that many of the people that journeyed with us on the Daybell case, that you keep supporting Colby too. Because the journeys will never be over for you.
Yeah.
This is them acknowledging his pain. The journeys will never be over.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Please do.
And we're here for you whenever, or if you ever need.
Well, I just said I feel like he's my adopted son.
Yeah, you did.
Said it again. Oh, we'll be here. Whatever you need, whatever you may need, whatever you may want. We're loving your journey. And John says, well, I just.
Right. So to clarify, sorry, or if I'm not sure if I did, or if, welcome, Boo Boo Roo. By the way, Merry Christmas. Says HTC removed the video of John saying that he wanted to adopt Colby. Aside from this live stream, there was a video of just he and Lauren. I don't know if it was pre-recorded or live, or sometimes you can't tell because they're tricky about things, where he said in a very serious way, not kind of a like jolly, like lighthearted, but happy, smiling, laughing manner, where they're talking about, him being his adoptive son here, but like in a much more serious tone, that he wanted to adopt Colby. And that, yes, has been removed. Thank you for that, Boo Boo Roo, and Merry Christmas.
Said, I consider him adopted son. I don't think we need to really say, any more to that.
Psychopathy.
Sick, ain't it?
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
That means a lot to me. Seriously.
Yeah. We care about you. We'll be following your journey. And we do hope that many of the people that journeyed with us on the Daybell case, that you keep supporting Colby too. Because the journeys will never be over for you.
Yeah, Robin.
Please do.
And we're here for you whenever, or if you ever need.
Well, I just said I feel like he's my adopted son.
Yeah, you did. You said that.
That's a big commitment.
on live YouTube.
That's a big.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, you said that. She says on live YouTube. And he's like, yeah, I love it. Like, I don't know what to think.
I love you too. I don't just put stuff like that out there, right? Like,
So
I don't just put stuff like that out there. And this was, no, this one here, yes, was 2 days before the 9-hour live.
I don't just
I love you too.
I don't just put stuff like that out there, right? Like,
So when I was told that, I remember on live, I just remember thinking, why did you say that? Because I lost my dad. He was murdered. You know that. And I lost my mom. So you can't say things like that if you don't mean that. So that number one, that pissed me off. And I didn't even know how much it pissed me off till later on. And then I heard my name brought up right
Jay,
after that
a
live.
Merry Christmas to you and your family. So glad I found you in the Cooters. Merry Christmas, Cooters.
Oh, thank you so much, F's more.
Okay, so I see some people in chat are saying, what did she say about her toddler? Let me just show that really quick. That's how we started off. And, you know, I actually started the saying that the texts and other messages we're going to show were mostly going to have to do with focusing on her son. Like the first thing I said about this case, the first time we did a live about it, was that I was very concerned for the son for the reasons of the statement and John's statement in his declaration, which I read earlier. If you weren't here, and if you weren't here earlier, you're just getting here, welcome. We're so happy you're here. Merry Christmas. But just let me share that with you really quick. The message says, this was 4 years ago. Lauren's son was 4. Just going to the second paragraph. I go out of town next Wednesday, and then she says location, it's redacted. I'm kind of excited. While I'll be working full time, my evenings for 2 nights will be without the most needy toddler I've ever met and a husband who also needs my attention. I'm just going to edit all night, every night, or something like that. Oh, yeah, that's in the way. And you know, what do I think about that? What did the chat think about it? We talked about this extensively in the very beginning. It's not just this, it's problematic on its own. It's everything put together. I'm very, very concerned about this child. Whoops. There we go.
For the $10 Cooter Chat, and a Merry Christmas right back to you. If you want to stop me in my tracks, send me a Cooter Chat because they're read out loud for all to hear. Thank you again. And 10 months with Pink October. Still hanging out with you in Cooterville. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you guys are here. All of you.
The next live that
I just want to answer this question really quickly. I think it's a really good question. Boo Boo Roo says, question, could John get an ethics complaint for the adopted son comment? I think the answer to that is going to be no, because I do not believe, based on the nature of this relationship, that John is officially working with Colby as a doctor-patient relationship, or a kind of patient consultant, or to any professional capacity officially. So an ethics complaint for that reason wouldn't happen. It might raise the eyebrow of somebody who knew about that, who was on the board of ethics for any of the divisions of professional psychologists or in that field of work, but it wouldn't result in anything. I mean, you could always make a complaint, but could there, let me just change your question a little bit and say, could John get an ethics complaint or another professional sanction or worse for numerous things that he has said about victims of crime, while touting his professional credentials? Absolutely. And I would be shocked if that's not already in the works. Grossly irresponsible, hugely unprofessional, in violation of several items on the ethics code that he is governed by. And I mean, I just have to believe that's already in the works. Somebody's taken notice. I could even make the complaints about that. I have a whole list of things that are ethics violations. You know what? Maybe I'll send one in myself. They would have to look at it. They have to, under obligation. If people recommend that the governing body look into a licensed professional, they have to look into it. So that's, thank you for your question. It led me to a very interesting thought.
They did. John shared a private text that I had sent in the moment where I said I was proud of Lauren, and I was, because she was getting out and facing those people. And he shared that on live, which has been his complaint from the beginning. And that really upset me and hurt me, because you just went on tangents for months on end about private texts. And now you come out and say a text that I sent you that was private. For what purpose? That felt like it was all planned. And that's what I'm saying. And this is my perspective. I'm angry because my name has been brought up in that situation so many times. I had to see it when I went to court for my dad. I had to see it when I went to freaking CrimeCon. I have to witness it, and it won't go away. I have let it go. I've let it slide. I've walked away. I've said nothing. I've let it play out. It has nothing to do with me. Keep me out of it. I'm not here for this drama. I'm not even involved. When the hell did I become a part of this? Until I realized I was being dragged into it. And I wanted to not do this video. I never wanted to make this video. I never wanted to have to make this video. And it's so irritating to me that I don't even go to that place. We don't go to that. Yes, we talk about my family. It's already public information. My family, and we talked about this last night with the mods, that is public. You guys knew more about my family and details about my family than I did. So yeah, am I touching on that now? Yes, for my own sake. And I appreciate that I have people who I feel are like a family for me, because I don't have that anymore. So I address those things. I've told you guys, you can believe what you want. I'm telling you context so you understand where I stand. Number one thing I have a trigger with now, and I'm no longer taking these punches quietly, is being pulled into people's bullshit.
So after watching all of that, I want you to ask yourself one simple question. Was this about helping Colby, or was this about feeding a brand? This
Clearly we know the answer, but very important question, Jay. I want to read this. Ooh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it went. Let's see. Anna says, I have a question. Does putting up a paywall like Patreon save him from ethics complaints? No, it doesn't. And it doesn't ultimately save his ass from, being sanctioned or, suffering some consequence if it is determined that there was indeed a serious ethics violation. What putting up a paywall, what they will put on Patreon, but not YouTube, is going to do, it's going to decrease the number of viewers who see it, who might realize that it is wrong, and therefore that an ethics violation complaint would result. It's also going to be less likely that somebody on the ethics committee is going to be able to get a hold of it. The harder you make it to get to, the less likely it is that somebody is going to hear the words that you spoke as evidence of a potential violation. And also, it's going to, for more or less, it's going to ensure that the people who are hearing your irresponsible conclusions, analyses, and evaluations are people who are your hidden gems. They're your hidden gems. They're loyal to you. They're not going to, initiate an ethics violation complaint. Maybe, but I will say I have paid for content to watch or hear what people have said, not because I'm their loyal viewer, but because I know that they're saying the most fucked up things in the safest places. And I want to be one of the people who hears what they say.
This is why people started pushing back. Not because they're haters, not because they're obsessed, and definitely not because they're stalking anyone. Definitely not. It's because exploiting trauma for clicks, credibility, or clout isn't journalism, and it's definitely not advocacy. Colby deserved boundaries, and what he got was content strategy. And that's the problem. All right, so thoughts? Oh, I'm so glad that he did, Robat. When he came out with his video, I was like, oh my God, thank God he was specific about those specific things he brought up. Sharing his text. Right, nothing about this is drama, Andy. That's so true. But here's John reading his text when they're calling the cops about theirs, wanting to involve the FBI, wanting people to get arrested, wanting Christina to go to jail. You know? Hey, Pines, do you want to know why because there was two Jennifers. Do you remember that?
Is it one Jennifer or two Jennifers?
And it's totally, those texts. It shows right there what her motive was. Thank you, Cindy. I love your shorts that came out today. I'm actually wearing skirt. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I put out shorts and the video. Parawoman was live today and a couple of trolls showed up. Oh, really?
Okay, so I want you. Well, just 1 second. Okay. Oh. Shirley Graff, welcome and thank you so super much for the super chat. She says, have a Merry Christmas 2026. And I hope y'all do. And Sherry, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having an awesome Christmas. Oh, Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. It is 12:07 here in New York. So it's officially Christmas Day. So official Merry Christmas to all of you, except if you're watching from Australia, because I know we have some Australian viewers, subscribers, and members. Then your day is past. Get the hell out of here. Go find a kangaroo. Go. I'm just kidding. I love you guys so much. So Merry Christmas, everybody. And thank you again, Shirley. Appreciate it. Uh-oh. I just lost its late at night train of thought. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Hold it. I'm going to play some, we're going to have a little short intermission here. I've just had a thought. I've got to cue something up that isn't queued up yet. So give me 120 seconds. Welcome back to Wants the Obsession True Crime. In this video, we are going to be talking about the so-called stalking scandal. True crime content creator Lauren from the channel Hidden True Crime has made public claims that this woman, Christina, has been stalking her. And really, y'all, you and I both know that is just the tip of the iceberg, and that is old news at this point because so much has happened in the story, what I call the Lauren Matthias stalker scandal shit show, since she first did her 9-hour live stream accusing Christina of stalking her. And it involves abuse of power. We're talking even law enforcement, fighting for control of power, what I believe to be pathological, very poor and frightening behavior, and even crimes. We're going to go over it all tonight. Thank you so much for joining. Can't wait to hear what you have to say about the Lauren Matthias stalker scandal shit show. Let's get into it.
You freaky dog. I don't need to analyze every word that comes out is a lie. Make it look like it's so ice. You won't make it to the finish line. Talking about big cash, that's the minimum. I'm done with this trash. Talk to be critical. Show me your mental state before we get physical. Pour some water in your cup, let it drip, drip, drip. Now look straight into my eyes, then you sip, sip, sip. It's about time, let you shine. Take off that beat so that we can have some fun. I see it when you walk my way. Nice big bed, come and play with me. Pick it up, got a whole lot of love from my dad. I see it when you walk my way. Nice big bed, come and play with me.
Freaky Dog, sure to be one of your family's holiday favorite tunes. Not really, but yeah. Okay. So, well, I'm just gonna roll the video, or else I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna say it. So I'm just gonna say it once. Here we go.
Dismissing you as not serious as untrustworthy, right? They're dismissing you as frivolous, as silly, as being engaged in a cat fight, as a dispute between mean girls.
Damn, John, that is the most spot-on analysis I have ever heard you make of any situation. Good job. Keep going down that track, boy. Keep going down that track.
Because you're female.
Oh, dun dun dun. That's where he lost us. Never mind.
Because the stalker wasn't following you with the gun. It doesn't matter. People can't handle the type of vulnerability and emotion that you expressed on that live for hours. What's the response? It's to call you histrionic. It's to call you a liar.
That is a natural response, John. The amount of vulnerability she showed the whole world for 9 hours. Once we saw the evidence that she was presenting in that 9 hours, really one of the only conclusions one could come to is histrionic. You know, there's other possibilities like psychotic, delusional, fucking idiot, but histrionic is definitely like in the top 10. Once again, you're wrong.
It's to say you're faking. It's to say you're doing it for clicks. You're doing it for attention, right? That's because, and by the way, one of the people.
That's because she is. Ding, 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 ding.
People saying this because of this was on our show years ago. And I will say this, one of the worst moments I've ever had in 5 years, one of the moments that pissed me off to no end, unlike every other moment on any show I've ever been on, this person was on the show. And somebody, a viewer asked a question of me that was extremely emotional. And I was pondering the question. You could see I was getting emotional. I was going to give one of the best responses I've ever given. And you know what happened? Because this person couldn't handle the fact that I was getting emotional, they cut me off. They absolutely cut me off, refused to let me answer because they couldn't handle that emotion in a male, especially in a male, that raw emotion that I was about to express. And I was so angry. If this person wonders why she's not on our channel, you might want to look at yourself. You might want to look at the fact that you cut me off in one of the most critical moments on one of our shows that I've ever had. You might want to look at the fact that people didn't like you.
That, of course, was Lauren Matthias and her husband, John Matthias's reaction after Lauren aired her 9-hour live stream of grievances that really didn't make the point that she set out to make in the first place. That's why it's the Lauren Matthias stalker scandal shit show. So, interestingly, exactly 6 months to the day before that, the true crime creator Annie Elise made an appearance on Juicy Scoop. Take a listen. Before we listen to what Annie Elise had to say on Juicy Scoop, it's important to recognize what was going on in April of 2025. According to Lauren Matthias herself in her declaration, everything started to go down with her. Now, guys, if you haven't heard me make this analysis here, it's really important to pay attention here to the dates of when things happened, because it completely supports what my very credible, reliable, 100% verified source. If I have somebody who I say is a source, and I'm not going to tell you who they are, if I don't know them at all, or if I can't make some personal connection between somebody I trust deeply in them, the way I verify them is with a government issued ID. No other way. So just know that when we say a verified source, it's not like the version of a verified source yeah, that you hear sometimes on YouTube. Her and the person that she was alleging was her stalker on April 9th, 2025. Literally 2 weeks before Annie's appearance on Juicy Scoop.
This started on April 9th, 2025, when my stalker confronted me in the courthouse in Maricopa County, Arizona, while I was reporting on the Lori Daybell trial. The stalker came up to me, cried, and let me know that she had heard what I had said about her, and that 2 former contract workers were releasing my text messages that I had with them during their time working with me.
Okay, so then Laura Matthias also goes to talk about some interaction she had with Janice also in April of 2025. In her mind, the shit is getting deep, and here she is talking about that.
So I was walking into court late, and I was on the phone with my husband, John, the only time I can catch up with him. And as I walked up to the courthouse, I noticed that Janice was out there, standing there with no apparent reason to be standing there. And I thought, oh no, my heart sunk. What if she's waiting for me? And so for safety, which I had started to do, because she's good friends with my stalker. In fact, when I saw my stalker and she had confronted me in the courthouse, she'd actually been with Janice. They had been together. And it made me nervous. So I said, John, I've got to go. Someone's here at the courthouse and I'm scared and getting worried about everything. He knew everything going on. I'm going to just put my phone camera on just in case, because I'm just worried. And that is why my phone camera was on. It was just in case. And I was walking into the courthouse. That was my goal. The doors were right there. And unfortunately I got scared and stopped to play the first game I had. Are you recording me? Please do. Please do. So that was the first one. Unfortunately, my nervousness ended. I want you to know too that Janice later wrote a declaration, and in her declaration to the court, she actually stated that I approached her. Please do not talk to me. I feel threatened. Well, I'm going to talk about stuff. Please do not talk to me. I feel threatened. Okay, I feel threatened by the things you're saying. So then let's stay away from each other. I think that you're a bully. Please stay away. I feel threatened. Oh, really, Lauren?
I have some juicy scoop for you, actually.
Give it to me.
So a girl who used to work for me, okay, in the true crime circuit, who went to these trials, I found out that she has been messaging with Lori, putting money on her books, pretending to be a Mormon herself, that she's like relating to her on all sorts of. I sent her to the first Lori trial, and I never knew any of this. And I just found this out maybe 2 weeks ago. I was so sick to my stomach. Like I couldn't sleep. I was like, because she started messaging her while she was covering the first trial. And so I don't know if it was like she was fangirling over her or became so fixated she didn't realize like this is real life. She's not a celebrity, because you know how people are like obsessed with Chris Watson stuff too.
Right.
But full on started like a pen pal relationship with her.
So wait, this girl was working for you like with research and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
And so how had you already let her go before you found this out?
She left and works with another, with a different news company.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it could be like a lesbian thing?
No. I think it's more of a fangirl type situation.
And just wanting to get close?
Yeah. And like,
let me just say something really quick to this comment here. Actually, what I'm playing right now is something new. It's not the same old video clips, or at least it's well, maybe unless you watched this video of mine before, which thank you very much. Why do you keep playing the same regurgitating videos? I started watching this live, hoping I would see something new, and you're replaying the same old clips that I've seen a million times. Well, you might be watching too much content about this case, and I'm just saying, but that's okay. I'm really glad you're here. But I just want to say, I'm doing this live. It's Christmas Eve. Well, now it's Christmas. Merry Christmas. Because I want to have some people to go for communion on Christmas Eve, because some people don't have somewhere they want to be to go. So that's what we're doing right here. And I certainly never said that I have breaking news or anything like that or something new for you. I think the title is extremely accurate representation of the content that I am presenting, except we're not going to get to other topics, I don't think, because there's a lot to present here. So I'm just addressing that because people have been saying that in comments specifically to my videos on this topic. I don't know what the fuck people are expecting. I'm not promising anything more than what I'm giving you. So I just want to say that. I think I'm usually very, very grounded about what I say we're going to be talking about, unless I don't have time to get to something, because I tend to overplan material. I guess I feel a little sensitive about that right now because people keep leaving me nasty comments. Not that yours is. Back to the program.
Just being the one that's like, I'm the closest to this woman and all.
But she's not sharing it with anybody. That's what's so bizarre.
I have to go back to the beginning of Annie Elise's explanation of the juicy scoop. Sorry, guys.
Actually.
Give it to me.
So a girl who used to work for me, okay, in the true crime circuit, who went to these trials, I found out that she has been messaging with Lori, putting money on her books, pretending to be a Mormon herself, that she's like relating to her on all sorts of. I sent her to the first Lori trial, and I never knew any of this. And I just found this out maybe 2 weeks ago. I was so sick to my stomach. Like I couldn't sleep. I was like, because she started messaging her while she was covering the first trial. And so I don't know if it was like she was fangirling over her or became so fixated she didn't realize like this is real life. She's not a celebrity, because you know how people are like obsessed with Chris Watson stuff too,
right?
But full on started like a pen pal relationship with her.
So wait, this girl was working for you like with research and stuff? And so how had you already let her go before you found this out?
She left and works with another with a different news company.
Okay. Do you think it could be like a lesbian thing?
No. I think it's more of a fangirl type situation.
And just wanting to get close?
Yeah. And
just being the one that's like, I'm the closest to this woman and all.
But she's not sharing it with anybody. That's what's so bizarre. She never told me that they were in contact. And this started while she was still working for me.
So how do you message someone?
They have prison portals where it's almost like email.
Oh, but not to your knowledge, has she gone to visit in person?
Not to my knowledge.
And then she gives her money for like the noodles or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And like created a whole fictitious backstory of her own upbringing. She's not Mormon. She said she like did all of this research trying to relate.
Connect,
yeah. And just bizarre. So bizarre. And she was at this trial covering it too for the new company that she works for.
Crazy.
Which I'm like, do you have any integrity? Like,
no.
And yeah, it goes so beyond that too, because she has advocated to be an ally for the two kids, that she has talked with some of the the family members, Kay and Larry, and
the grandparents of the
grandparents.
Boy.
Yes. Sorry. I think I said.
Sorry, the girl speaking is Annie Elise, very, very, very successful, well-established true crime creator of the YouTube channel 10 to Life. She started this channel like 10 years ago or something, like way before most of us started thinking, oh, maybe I'm going to do a true crime YouTube channel. And then her podcast, Serialistly. She's very professional. She's very successful. I don't have anything bad to say about her.
Meanwhile, she's messaging Lori and befriending her. It's so sick. It makes me sick.
I just want you to take note that I linked a video from the channel Difficult Research with the host Kresha, who is a family member of JJ Vallow, Charles Vallow, and Tylee Ryan, all who were victims of Lori and Chad. I was surprised when I was watching her channel one time a few weeks ago to realize that she was presenting a theory about what she...
Okay, so listen up here. This isn't fully refined because I tried to explain this to you guys in the live stream. What I learned from this government ID verified and vetted otherwise source who is connected to both parties in the stalker scandal shit show. So that means Lauren and Christina. It's not total. When I presented that live, the story is kind of so messed up. I was confused about an important detail of it, even though we had talked about it at length the day before and that day of the live stream. And so the source texted me a couple times during the live stream and then said, whoa, you got something super important wrong. So I had to go back and correct it. So then I made this shorter video. So even when I do explain it here, I took some stuff from the live stream. So if it's not as polished as some of my edited videos, that's why.
Felt Annie Elise was really saying in this Juicy Scoop interview. And it was very similar in many ways to what I was theorizing, different in some ways too. But it was kind of on the same path. She had mentioned a source that she has in that video. Please go watch it again. It's linked in the description. In that video, she mentions a source that she has regarding, information about what it was that Annie Elise was saying. And I just want to note that the source that I am referring to is not the same source that Kresha has. I asked her about that, and she said she really admires Kresha, but she has not ever spoken to her. So it is definitely not the same source. Now, I also want to say that I am not proposing that I have all of the answers here by any means. This is just one little piece of the puzzle that I happen to stumble across. Let me know what you think about it. And there's still a lot more to figure out if you choose to go down that road or dive down that rabbit hole. So I want to know what you guys think, and where does this twisted storyline go from here? So what you're going to be watching right now is an excerpt from a live stream that I did on Wednesday night, November 26th. Allegedly, according to this person who has been verified, who is a source, who is has a relationship with all parties involved. Nevertheless, we must say allegedly, right? The story that Annie Elise relayed on Juicy Scoop, and we're going to listen to it again, was told to Annie Elise by dun 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 Lauren Matthias herself. And it is not because important point number one. This is truth. This is as good as a fact. And I know that because I'm the person who spoke to this verified and otherwise vetted source. Lauren Matthias herself is the one who told Annie Elise about the whole story that Annie Elise just told. But of course, when she told it to Annie Elise, she didn't tell her the real story. No. Because Miss Lauren Matthias has a problem with lying and manipulating. As Lindsay or anybody else that worked for Lauren actually did reach out to Lori or put money on Lori's books, but it is because, and we're going to recognize a pattern right now. This all makes perfect sense to me. It is because Lauren knew, of course, that she had this idea to get in Lori Vallow Daybell's back pocket to get that exclusive interview with her. And her son Colby does come into the situation, but I'm not sure if I want to talk about that yet. But Lauren wanted to get ahead of something that might come out because she knew that she had this plan to get in Lori Vallow Daybell's back pocket to get an exclusive interview with her for her benefit, for Hidden True Crime, obviously, to, make the podcast more popular, to make more money, to be more successful. Me, I, as you guys are saying here in chat. And welcome, Justice A. Fruzy. It's always great to see you. So Lindsay is one of the people that Lauren pitched that to, and is one of the people that Lauren knew firsthand about her bad behavior and her really fucked up idea to have somebody contact Lori Vallow under this auspice of, being a Mormon, of connecting with her however she could, all the ways that we know you connect with other people, having commonalities, asking her about things that might be important to her, near and dear to her heart, like, her supposed faith obviously is, and kind of the weird twist even that her faith took with Chad Daybell that, played a part in this horrible tragedy that happened to Telly Charles and JJ. As she was parting ways with Lauren, and I'm talking about Lindsay now, and she was going to go on to Ashley Banfield, and it was apparent to Lauren that they were parting ways. She didn't want that now. Like my explanation of this is unacceptable to myself right now, how I explained it live stream before. Let me give you the quick summary. Because now that I'm totally clear on what happened and I know actually even more, I can tell you a little more smoothly. So Lauren is a person who did in fact tell Annie Elise the story that Annie Elise just told. We'll listen to part of it just one more time so you can sort of really put this all together. So according to my government ID verified and otherwise vetted source, who knows both parties, Christina and Lauren, this is the real juicy scoop. Lauren told this to Annie Elise, and the story that she told Annie Elise was this. Oh, she also knows Annie Elise. She's obviously in this community, okay, clearly. And that's okay to say. Yeah. I almost was like, shoot. And that's okay to say. Because it could still be a ton of different people. And what Lauren told Annie Elise was that Lindsay, a true crime producer who happened to work for both Annie Elise and Lauren for Hidden True Crime. And also, let me just tell you that their employment or contract work for Annie Elise and Hidden True Crime, that work overlapped in so far as time. Lindsay was doing work producing for Annie Elise and also Hidden True Crime at the same time, or there was a period of time where she was doing that. And as Annie Elise indicates. So Lauren told Annie Elise that Lindsay, and the point of it was to try to call into question Lindsay's sanity, mental clarity, professionalism, trustworthability, and everything else.
she said that she found out that Lindsay was contacting Lori Vallow Bell without people wanting to know, or kind of secretly, that she was pretending to be someone she wasn't, that she was obsessed with Lori Vallow, that she was putting money on her books. And, you know, she was doing this all while she was working for you and while she was working for me, Annie Elise. And now I'm Lauren talking, but like a normal person who's tired, but normal, relatively normal. And, you know, I didn't know about it. Did you know about it? Annie Elise is like, fuck no, man. That's not how I run my ship, because my ship's a little tighter and more ethically sound than yours, Lauren. And she was like, yeah, well, I didn't know about it either until something happened, or she saw something that she questioned Lindsay about. And Lauren questioned her in a way that made Lindsay think that Lauren thought it was something much worse. So to save her ass, Lindsay had to really come clean and tell her what she had really done, that she'd been contacting Lori Vallow Bell and that she was putting money on her books, and she was only doing it because she wanted to get the juicy scoop, you know, for her channels and blah, 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 blah. But really, it was so shameful and so unethical. This is Lauren telling Annie this. She shouldn't have done it. And if I didn't see this one thing and she was trying to save her butt, because I actually thought she was doing something much worse, I never would have even found out the truth. Can you believe it? And now this happened in the timing where Lindsay had already decided she was leaving Hidden True Crime because she got a better gig moving on to be the producer for Ashley Banfield's podcast. So it is my belief, and the source's belief, because there's no way of knowing this for sure. There's no way to verify this. But the impetus for Lauren telling this to Annie Elise was that now that Lindsay and she had a little bit of a falling out, and Lindsay was going to be free of her, you know, not relying on her for income anymore. She wasn't going to be doing work for anymore. And she was going to be under the wing of Ashley Banfield, who Lauren just obviously loves. So I'm getting an Ashley Banfield tonight. And then also, by the way, John, hold up, shut the fuck up. We have to tell everybody I'm going to be on Ashley Banfield and Ashley Banfield and Ashley Banfield and Ashley Banfield. You know, she might, Lindsay, tell Ashley Banfield some of the messed up stuff I did. Oh my God, she could tell the world all the messed up stuff I did. I better get some dirt on her so I can blackmail her in the event she tries to do anything to make me look bad, because I've done a lot of things that have made myself look bad. And Lindsay is somebody who knows that. Okay. So she was getting ahead of that. Now so just as Lindsay was, starting to see who Lauren really was, she wasn't going to be doing work for her anymore. She was going to be moving on to Ashley Banfield. And there were some other things that were starting to happen. In April of 2005, this is when she told this story to Annie Elise. Guess when this juicy scoop with Annie Elise was taped? Or I'm sorry, when it was posted to YouTube. I'm sure the production time is a pretty quick turnaround, maybe 48 hours at the most. April 25th, 2025. Loose cannon relationship is she? Whoop, I'm sorry. And the other important part of this, and why I'm playing it right now in connection to some of the information and messages regarding Colby Ryan and Lauren pursuing him, is that this verified and vetted source also told me that she's pretty sure she knows exactly what the really big bomb is at the center of this whole stalker scandal shit show controversy that is causing her and John to fear that, like John said to the Henderson police officer, that when these messages come out, everything they've worked for over the past few years could be lost in a minute, in an instant, he says. The really big jam has to do with Colby Ryan. And she told me what it was and how she knows. And we're just going to, and sent me a couple things. And I'm just going to leave it with that right now. And I would love to tell you, just because you're my viewers, and I would love to share it with you, not say, I know something you don't. And I thought about it quite a lot. she said if I wanted to share it, she and I can talk about how it would be presented and agree on, how it should be presented. And she'd be okay with that. She didn't want me to just go like rogue with it because it is potentially I just decided I don't think it's the right thing to do. Colby's already obviously caught on based on his recent live stream where he reacted to this scandal in general. But this cuts much deeper. I know it's going to come out really super soon. People are getting really close to it. I simply don't want to be the one who does it. I don't know if I feel okay with that for myself. So, yeah. So let's just one time really quick hear a little bit of what Annie Lee had to say. So if you hadn't heard me explain that before, now you can put it all together. Money on her books, which did include
fangirling over.
Give it to me.
So a girl who used to work for me, okay, in the true crime circuit, who went to these trials.
So now we know Annie Elise believes a lie. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. But oh shit. I forgot a big part of that. God, I can never tell a story right. Here's the kicker. I'm so glad I didn't end this live stream forgetting this. The person who was really contacting Lori Vallow was Lauren. And Lindsay knew this because she was pitching to Lindsay that she should be, oh God, hold it. I'm all frenzied now. Let me not talk about what she did first, but what she was planning. Lauren had this idea that she was going to get this interview with Lori Vallow Daybell. She had all kinds of plans for it and what would spin off of that and the success that it was going to create for her channel. And this is where Colby gets hitched in here too. Okay. That's the part that we're just not going to talk about now, but somebody will soon, I'm sure of it. And then I'll say, yeah, that was it. And we can talk about it. And she was so desperate for this. She started to take actions to make it happen. Let's say that. And she initially pitched this to Lindsay, like, hey, Lindsay, maybe you could do this. Because what she said to Lindsay was, I cannot be connected to this in any way. If somebody reaches out to Lori Vallow while she's in prison, trying to talk to her so we can get that juicy interview and putting money in our books and I cannot be connected to that. If people found that out and I wasn't, forthcoming about it, at least she was smart enough to know. And she said this to Lindsay, I cannot be connected to it. So at first she just said that. And then in a subsequent conversation, she pitched it to Lindsay in this kind of, testing the waters way. Maybe you could be the person to do that. So she knew that Lindsay knew that she had that idea. And so the story goes, and I don't have proof of this, but so the story goes that then Lauren actually did do those things in desperation to try to get the interview. And I think people speculate about that too, having totally different sources. But Lauren was totally paranoid because she knew that Lindsay knew that Lauren had that idea. And like she told Lindsay, this can never come back to me. It would look so bad for me. It'd be bad for my channel. And so an effort to get ahead of that, in case now that she knows Lindsay don't really like her very much and she's leaving, she's going to start to trash talk Lindsay. So then when Lindsay goes and tells people who Lauren really is, what she really does, and the manipulative and unethical ideas she has, people won't believe her because she has already ruined Lindsay's reputation. Okay. And then the other important piece of that is, guess who the first person was to get a cease and desist from Lauren Matthias? It was Lindsay. Also indicating the fact that she knows that Lindsay has dirt on her, that she is desperate to not be released to the public. For the love of God, I don't know why I can never get that right in one scoop.
I found out that she has been messaging with Lori, putting money on her books, pretending to be a Mormon herself, that she's relating to her on all sorts of levels. I sent her to the first Lori trial, and I never knew any of this. And I just found this out maybe 2 weeks ago. I was so sick to my stomach. I couldn't sleep. I was because she started messaging her while she was covering the first trial. And so I don't know if it was she was fangirling over her or became so fixated. She didn't realize like this is real life. She's not a celebrity, because you know how people are like obsessed with Chris Watson stuff too,
right?
But full on started like a pen pal relationship with her.
So wait, this girl was working for you like with research and stuff, and so how had you already let her go before you found this out?
She left. Yeah, she left and works with another with a different news company.
Okay. Do you think it could be like a lesbian thing?
No. I think it's more of a fangirl type situation.
And just wanting to get close?
Yeah. And
just being the one that's like, I'm the closest to this woman and all
But she's not sharing it with anybody. That's what's so bizarre. She never told me that they were in contact. And this started while she was still working for me.
So how do you message someone?
They have prison portals where it's almost like email.
Oh, but not to your knowledge, has she gone to visit in person?
Not to my knowledge.
And then she gives her money for like the noodles or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And like created a whole fictitious backstory of her own upbringing. She's not Mormon. She said she like did all of this research trying to relate.
Connect,
yeah. And just bizarre. So bizarre. And she was at this trial covering it too.
Okay. So all of those factual things she's saying about Lindsay are true, except Lindsay didn't do that. And here Annie Elise is telling the story to the Juicy Scoop host so confidently because, you know, she probably doesn't know who Lauren really is. She might now. And I didn't reach out to Annie Elise and tell her about this, but I'm sure other people have. And I think she didn't pay too much attention to what was really going on behind the scenes with True Crime, Lauren Matthias. So she probably trusted her, being a relative, big true crime creator to other big true crime creator basis kind of thing. I'm sure every time Lauren communicated with her, she put her best foot forward. And before she even sent that cease and desist, I believe, or it might have been right in the same 2-week period, she made sure one of the first people she contacted, or so it seems at least, was Annie Elise, to make sure that she was protected on that front. And it does. It all makes so much sense. As I was like listening to this story, I really was like, I almost couldn't believe it. I was like, dude, I mean, I vetted some things that she told me to make sure everything was for fucking certain true, of course, before I opened my mouth. But, it all just made so much sense. I was like, dude, she's being completely fucking honest. This is great. So, yeah. So that's a real Juicy Scoop. And I'm not trying to really push it out. I think it is a really big piece of the puzzle. And as far as I know, I'm the only person that has it from us that has it. This person, I've still talked to her once a week or so, because we've been talking about the possibility of talking about the other piece of information if we had Colby's permission. But I guess she said that she hasn't spoken to anyone else about it now. She actually used to watch my channel a lot because she's a big Chris Watts case person. So that's how she got to me. Yeah. Oh boy. When was this interview between Lauren and Annie Elise? Well, wait, there wasn't an interview between Lauren and I don't know who this interview with Annie Elise was April 25th, 2025, or that's when this episode was put on YouTube. So I'm sure it was within a few days before that. Let's see. I'm going to read a few comments. Bite My Bit says, I read this thing that said Mormon women are taught to keep sweet. Yeah, keeping sweet. That's a big thing. And not argue or voice opinion. And because of that, they tend to do this covert backstabbing crap, which really makes sense. You are right about that. Yeah, keeping sweet. Women, it's like a big thing. It's like, that's what they're told to do is keep sweet, which is just, sit there with your, I don't know, with your long skirt or legs crossed, or it doesn't really matter because you're definitely going to be wearing a long skirt. We know that for goddamn sure. Not always. I'm just kidding. But keep your hands folded, keep your mouth shut, look cute, be barefoot and pregnant, or otherwise take care of the goddamn house. Fuck your man as much as he wants. And that's keeping sweet. Yeah. Sorry. That was a little cruder than I usually speak. Sorry about that. But that's what keeping sweet is. So Carolina says, Charles Vallow called Lori destroyer of lives. We can safely say that Lauren Matthias is the exact same thing, a destroyer of lives. She's a terrible human being, the worst. It's wild that she's like Lori. Yeah, I do see a lot of similarities between her and Lori. Like in that analogy, I think that's very astute observation. I couldn't say they're exact same thing. She didn't actually take the life off the earth, sending them to the other side of heaven, destroy another person or life. But I get what you're saying, girl. I'm not being picky, but I know people do get sensitive about that. So I was just saying that. But yeah, good observation. Anna says, yeah, I watched a live with a smaller creator only once and don't remember her name. Oh, I saw your other, I'll have to read that other comment first. Honey Bun said this, Cuff, you said this in a better way than I did. What keep sweet means a command to stay obedient. Women and girls were expected to be quiet, compliant, and cheerful at all times. And also the other things I said, let's be real. I think it looks like you. Thank you for getting that definition. I appreciate it. Bite my bits. I think she also has a personality disorder that makes her conflate other people's circumstances with her own life. Yep, just because of ethical reasons. I'm not going to speculate on the possibility of a presence of a personality disorder, but I will say, in the spirit of your comment, I totally fucking agree. Oh yes, that's really, really insightful, actually. Oh, she was saying she was stealing scripts from Annie. Oh, you're talking about Every Day with Jay. That's who I was playing earlier. Yeah, she that was pretty clear. Yep, that was pretty clear. Yep, that was good. That she caught that. Hideous Gem. I just love your name. This is beyond being mean girl. She's evil. Yeah, it is. She's definitely being a mean girl, but that's just like that's like a sub theme here, right? Yeah. Edward says, I stayed for a Mormon family for a few months in 1991. The wife was all sweet. She was keeping sweet and demure in public. Oh, and on Sunday, but complete hell on wheels at home. Oh, wow. That's funny. Yeah. I mean, the public persona, keeping them sweet really is the perception. It's for the your benefit of the positive perception of the public being those who are in your community who think keeping sweet makes you, be a person who's doing what you're doing rather than causing trouble. And then, yeah, you got it. We don't have to overanalyze this one, Kelly. Stop. All right. Stopping. Oh, it was a comedian. Oh, so probably Jolene Lunzer, right? Are you talking about? She's funny too. It doesn't matter, but yeah, she's really funny too. I like her channel. I just found it with this covering this topic. All right, guys, listen. I know that I said we were going to cover some other topics tonight too in this Christmas Eve live special just for you. But we've been into this for 2.5 hours, and I do got to go to bed because we have to do Christmas with the family tomorrow. But guys, I'm so super happy you are all here this evening. Oh crap! And we were doing prize. Okay, listen. I have to randomize everybody that was here, and I can get a list of that from my YouTube studio. So, okay, when's my next live stream going to be? Because we're going to do a drawing for 3 winners. Maybe Cuffy or Honey Bun. Maybe you guys can help me out with this a little bit over the next couple days. Or just check it out to make sure everyone's in there or something. I get a little confused when I do this. And I'm going to be honest, I just forgot to set that up beforehand. So all of your names would funnel into that, and it's too late to do it now. So I'm going to have to do it manually, which is okay. I'm so happy to do that. So I will announce those winners, or maybe we can do the spin the wheel drawing thing live during the next live stream. So today is, screw it, man. Let's do a live stream Friday night like we like to. So Friday night around 9 to 9:30, we'll do our next live stream. Don't know what it's going to be about yet, but we'll do the drawing there. So everybody here will be in the drawing. So you're going to need to pay attention to that. Because if you are a winner, you're going to need to email me and give me like your PayPal or Cash App information or something like that, so I can send you your prize. Okay. And I'm so sorry I didn't have the right for you guys tonight. I'm so sorry. Your Christmas presents are going to be late again. I know I do that every year. Sorry, Mom. Oh, no, sorry. Oh, that's my own issue. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't have that ready. I blame my big ass headache today and not getting 50% of the things done that I really wanted to get done. All right. Let me just do. Oh, G14 classified. Welcome. We're so glad you're here anyway. Merry Christmas. You will have to do the replay. Mama gotta get some sleep. Oh, I'm so sorry, Calissa. Oh, yeah, Lauren's issues are a welcome distraction. Yeah. I mean, it's like, listen, people, God, and I talked about some some of the top controversial cases that will get a creator hate and threats and harassment and things that require warranted legal representation and orders. I've had to send exactly 2 people, a cease and desist letter. One of them then stopped. The other one had to become an order because, a very, very, very few of you here know the whole story, and that the situation was beyond. And if the person lived in this country, there would have been criminal charges. But anyway, the Watts case and my presentation of the Idaho case, because we had some student sources who are friends with Ethan Chapin, and people are so psychotic about that case. Brian Koberger didn't do it. It was the Sigma Chi guys who did it. And if you're one of those people and you're hearing me say this right now, you're probably watching the wrong channel. I'm sorry. If you want to get reformed, that's good. We'll help you out with that. But I'm just saying that's not connected to reality thinking. Anyway, covering the Watts case and then that aspect of the Idaho 4 case really conjured up some hate, some scary stuff, some harassment, some threats, some real life stuff. Oh God, ugly, nasty things. Interestingly, because I haven't covered this situation and it's nearly as intensely, the comments and the emails and messages otherwise I've been getting are just super fucked up. They're nasty. They're hostile. They are verging on harassment. They are absolutely on many occasions threatening and graphically and violently and scarily so. And why am I telling you all of that? I don't remember why I'm telling you that, but people are reacting to this really like crazy, and I have to wonder if these are all hidden gems sent out on a mission, or if for some strange reason I cannot put my finger on, there is a natural reaction of intense emotion to those who are talking about this and the way that I am and some other channels are. It doesn't really make sense to me though. So I sort of have to feel that Lauren is ultimately behind most of it, which is one of the reasons I haven't taken it all as seriously as I did when I would get similarly or equivalently as scary messages related to the other cases, because I knew it wasn't just one fucking stupid person behind it, that there was actually a lot of people who were ready to get violent over their differences in opinions over issues in the case. And once again, I am tired, so I can't remember why I started telling you that, but that's a fact. Why did I start telling you guys that? Does anyone know? Does anyone know? I don't know. I can't remember. Can't remember, as I just stated. I'm just seeing. I don't know. I can't remember. But if any of you know, good for you. Oh, everyone, go check out our Discord. Cuffy runs it. It's awesome. You don't have to do anything other than go and become a member, and you can have access to everything. There's information about I don't know how many cases, 20, 30, 40, tons of cases, way more than I'm able to cover on this channel because, at this time I do all the live streams, I make all the, it's just, I do what I do, people. Shut the fuck up. I do what I can do. I love y'all. You're getting all the love I can give you, and that's it. That's it. Then you can go chew on a bone. But Cuff You has provided you guys information about way more cases. We do live events sometimes, chat, things like that. It's super awesome. And then we also have a Patreon. There's free level membership. You can just go check it out. Then you can become a free member. There are different levels of paid membership that get you access to more exclusive information. There's case files. There's some exclusive videos, things that I can't put on YouTube, particularly in regards to the Watts case. Oh, which reminds me, the Patreon members only live stream about the Nicole Kessinger information I've had my hands on for a very long time that I had to reschedule a couple weeks ago because of our ice storm here and like lines being down. I actually had to drive to the next town over to get on my phone and get internet service to message people on Patreon to let them know it wasn't going to happen shortly before, because like we had electric luckily, but all of the internet our company here, Spectrum, nothing was working like in my whole town. So anyway, we will be doing that either this weekend or early next week for sure. I know a number of people have asked about that. They really want to hear about it. So I'm sorry I've had to put it off. I just have had to for a number of different reasons. So check out the Patreon too. That's where I'm babbling. A clear sign that I'm tired. Just kind of like when Lauren Matthias speaks, clear sign that your lies are being spit. So, oh, hey, Stephanie, welcome. How are you doing? Thank you so much for the super sticker. Have you been here the whole time or did you just pop in, girl? Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Merry Christmas. Oh, hey, look. Carolina says, love your Discord. I'm not able to go on there frequently, but I am a member. Yay. Thank you so much, Cuff You. Yeah, thank you so much, Cuff You. And Honey Bun, who is one of our head moderators, and also Edward Schwenk is one of our moderators. I think those are our moderators here tonight. Anna Flex is our other head moderator for the channel. I am so grateful to all of them. They're amazing, and I love you guys. Hideous Gemstones, I knew to the Watt case. Well, let's kind of talk about I'm new to the Watts case. I understand the obsession already. Oh, whoa, you are in the right place. If you are new to the Watts case and you are here and you have found this channel, it is Christmas morning times 2 for you, because there are probably over, I don't know, I'm going to say, how many of them? I have like freaking like 300. There's like at least 300 Watts videos on this channel. I'm sure of it. So do enjoy. If there is something interested that you're, or in particular you're interested in regarding the Watts case, please do send me an email and I'm sure that I can guide you to the correct content. Every time I do that now, and I don't usually go do. So especially if you watch Every Day for Jay, or if you caught the Web Sleuths with Trisha show where Grayson was on, I find myself like doing that do thing all the time now, and I'm like, stop it, you sound like a freaking tool, like Trisha, stop. But it's just in my head in a bad way, and I keep doing it. Somebody help me. John, help me. Just kidding. You can't even help your wife, John. Go away. There is the Patreon link. I don't want to say goodbye. I love you guys so much, but I've got to go because I do have to go to sleep. And oh, one thing real quick. Are you talking about JP Miller? Hey, Dr. Vonna, Merry Christmas. How are you doing, Mama? Oh, yeah, let's do a Watts Live together. Hell yeah, for sure. Let me know when you want to do that. We could do it Friday. That's going to be the next live. But yeah, let's definitely plan it. People have been asking for us to do a Watts Live together forever, Dr. Vonna. So everyone tune in to that. As many of you know, I'm a behavioral therapist. Dr. Vonna is in a similar field. Obviously, she's a doctor. So, when we get together, we can talk some crazy psych stuff, behavioral stuff, behavioral stuff. And can somebody put the Discord link up too? Calissa says, I do that do thing too. It's a neurodivergent thing, I think. Possibly. That's funny. Oh, so I think somebody was just talking about Micah Miller, but I'm not sure because I heard he's indicted and JP Miller was. I covered the Micah Miller case extensively back in the day when that whole tragedy went down. Oh my God. I remember just hearing about it, watching a video, I think Plunder's video. I love Plunder. Maybe you know I love Plunder. If you don't know who Plunder is, what the channel is. Check it out. You'll love it. She's terrific. She's an OG true crime YouTuber also. And I watched the video and I was thinking, oh God, I'm doing content on a number of different things right now. I'm not going to make any content on this. I just want to know what's going on. But I just felt so connected to Micah, and I was so deeply saddened by what happened to her. And I was so disgusted by her preacher husband, who emotionally, physically, sexually, and otherwise abused her so horribly, that I was like, no, we need to talk about this now. And then somehow, I don't remember how it was, I ended up talking to her dad and got in communication with her dad and got to really get a good perspective on the family's perspective of the whole thing. And I feel very, very close to that situation. I'm actually waiting for the Micah's Law legislation to move forward because I do want to be involved in that personally and also with this channel. So what I am saying is I am working on a video on JP Miller's federal indictment for the charges related to his crimes against Micah Miller, alleged crimes against Micah Miller while she was alive. And also doing the backstory, because some people are now interested in that but don't really know the whole backstory. And trust me, they are super, super, super deep dives. You know, I think actually that's one of the cases that I'm most proud of my work on, that I put out at the time, and the information I have on it and what I'm able to put together for you guys. Okay. Micah's Law is a law making coercive control of another human being a crime. Because a lot of times when somebody is being coercively controlled or really like just abused by another person, the way that it is done, when the victim, you know, is so badly hurt by this and terrified and oftentimes legitimately and rightfully scared for their safety, not in the Laura Matthias way, but for fucking real. And oftentimes scared for their lives, as we all know, in, you know, coercive controlled domestic situations, there is one of the highest rates of interpersonal violence and homicide against another person. But a lot of times the abuse that you endure on the way to it, you know, spinning totally out of control to where something absolutely tragic happens, is not a chargeable crime. Because the abuse happens in a way, often by design, that is delivered in such doses or with, you know, resulting evidence that is just not, it's not there to be a chargeable crime. And that's wrong, because there are ways where behavior and abuse like that of JP Miller towards Micah, it absolutely could be proven in a court of law and should be a crime, because it is cruel, inhumane, and disgusting, and it shouldn't be something that we allow to happen. Micah's Law is to make sure that those things that don't qualify as a crime now do under state law, chargeable offenses. So dickheads like JP Miller could have been thrown in jail on their ass, or I mean ass up, hopefully, a long, long time ago. Sorry, just want to read a couple of your comments. Oh God, I wish we could have gotten to this state. Maybe we can I would do it in live stream soon too. I want to know more about the connection to JP Miller and the new wife who had a husband who also took his own life. Just learned about this month. Well, her husband, Susie Skinner, and JP Miller are now married. Susie Skinner had a husband who was wheelchair bound. He was a paraplegic, and they had children together. And both Susie Skinner and her husband, Chris, were in JP Miller's church's congregation. JP Miller's a preacher at his very own church. And yeah, they were both members of the church. Chris Miller used to like to go out in his wheelchair to the pool at the, place that they live, just to get outside and enjoy, even though, he's a paraplegic, he's in a wheelchair. He did it all the time, like all the time. In fact, he fought his homeowners association so there could be a lift so he could access that area, because he just liked being by the pool so much. So one day on Labor Day one year, he was found in the pool deceased. Obviously, he can't swim. He's a paraplegic. He was strapped into his wheelchair. His wheelchair just somehow rolled into the pool. And he unfortunately died from drowning. Paul Miller, I'm sorry, JP Miller eulogized him, and it was and then talked about it at his funeral, and then talked about it and at church later during a sermon, and was really in a really fucked up way. Anyway, JP Miller and Susie Skinner started becoming close under the guise of him, counseling her because her husband had just passed away. She has children, and he is a pastor after all, so he can make up an excuse for getting close to anybody. I am counseling them spiritually. I am the pastor, So people started to wonder about it. They were suspicious about it. It was speculated that they were having an affair while Micah was still alive. Micah is now deceased. That was JP Miller's wife. Suffered intense abuse from him for a long time. So did his former wife. Her death is officially ruled a suicide, but a lot of people think that wasn't the case. Anyway, Susie Skinner and JP Miller are now married. So people speculate that JP has something to do with the death of Chris Miller. People say that JP and Susie Skinner always seemed to have something going on. I agree with you very much, Maria from DABX. Did I say that right? Welcome anyway. Merry Christmas. Yeah, he was definitely in a wheelchair. Yeah. Interpartner violence. Okay, guys. So I'm going to really end this now. But Friday night, we will be doing a live stream. And I will also be announcing the winner. So everybody who's here during this live stream will be entered in the drawing. And we'll pick 3 winners. If you're not at the live stream on Friday night, you'll have to watch it. I'll do it in the first 10 minutes. So you know if you won. Because if you did, you'll have to email me. So, yeah. All right, guys. Love you so much. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. Thank you so much for being here. We love that you are part of the community. That is so amazing. And I appreciate every single one of you.
Here we go once again for a marriage, lightning man. Don't you worry, it's gonna be alright. 'Cause I'm the judge and jury, and we'll be up all night. You better check for pose. You better check for pose. You better check for
They are dead on that.
all the bad things love can bring. All in the blind spot that we don't see. Wipe the dirt.
It was earlier tonight. I don't.
13, she had her 13th birthday party. She was happy that we were all together.
She wanted to walk the rest of the way.